It was very different, you know, and as some people said, it was a breath of fresh air, a different change of manager from Jim McLean, from all these years he was there, and you know, to come to a Scottish Cup final and win it was just phenomenal, especially when you'd been to cup finals and kept losing them. So to change that trend and to buck it was fantastic for Ivan.
Yeah. But his approach, I believe in the Friday night before the final, some of the lads went to Hamilton races. Big Brew went into the driving range and hit golf shot. I mean, a different approach, you have to say.
Well, we were never allowed that, I tell you that. The pressure was put right upon us. It was a big match for us. But no, you know, it was more relaxed. I think coming from England as well, when he was managing in England, there was more an approach of a relaxation down there. And I think that got through to the players for that cup final. And I think it worked. Well, obviously it worked. But I mean, sometimes I think, and I wish that Jim had done that with us, but it wasn't. He just so desperately wanted to win the cup, and unfortunately, we couldn't do that for him.
Yeah, completely different approaches, John. You've been a manager. You're involved in coaching. Which side would you tend towards?
The one that makes you win the game. It's as simple as that. But it doesn't matter. You know, Kevin's right there. Jim McLean. It's a crying shame that a man of his ability, managerial ability, his knowledge of the game, his coaching ability, didn't manage to win the Scottish Cup at 6 attempts. I believe he's not coming today because he feels he's a jinx to United. That's how much he wants to win. And then virtually his first attempt was his first time. Ivan Golash wins the cup. You know, that's the cruel side of football sometimes. But it's hard because, as we said today, United have got to handle pressure today. They are the favourites. And so Peter Houston will get them down into the dressing room, get them focused. Surely got to say, look, they've beaten Hibs, they've beaten Celtic here. We've got to give them all the respect in the world. But if they get the basics right and work hard, then they can win the game. As I said, though, if they take the eye off the ball, County can hurt them. There's absolutely no doubt. So, you know, you want to keep them relaxed, but you want them focused. It's a fine line, fine juggling act. But as I say, it doesn't matter what you do with them. It's getting your hands on that silver trophy is the whole point.
Yeah, you're a little bit unconventional as a player, Pat. Would you have enjoyed getting the chance on a Friday night before a cup final of going to the races, going and hitting golf shots, playing snooker? I mean, which would you...
I think more often than not, what you want to do is your own thing. I want a gig, mate. If I was going to see a band, that was what I wanted to do more than anything else. And then the fact that most of my managers trusted me. They kind of let me go and do it anyway, knew I wouldn't be getting too drunk or anything like that. No, whatever makes you relaxed, that's it. And to be honest, one of the big things, it's a silly little thing to talk about, do you know sleeping in your own bed? It makes a massive difference. More often than not, before a cup final, you go to a strange bed in a hotel. I don't think that's always the best thing.
Well, Ivan Golak's win came in 1994. The man who scored the winning goal that day was, of course, Craig Brewster, a Dundee United legend. This is the goal which beat Rangers, who were chasing a double treble. Horrible mix-up between Dave McPherson and Ali Maxwell. Christian Daly rolls it across, and Big Brew is in the right place at the right time. Just as he is today, wearing Ross County colours. He's with Jonathan.
Craig, that famous goal in 1994, just how often do you think about that?
No, not really too often, but it's been broadcast quite a lot recently, and it'd be nice for one of my players to do it today.
It must be very strange for you, a Dundee United fan watching Dundee United in Scottish Cup finals, then of course a Dundee United player scoring that goal, Dundee United manager as well, Dundee United through and through. This must be odd for you, to say the least.
Yeah, very strange. To see Ross County in the Scottish Cup final, it is a bit surreal, and to be against Dundee United, it's even more amazing. But we're focused on what we've got to do today, and it's all about the players today, and they've had a great build-up in terms of media, you know, the whole club, Dingwall, and we're nearly upon time where we really get to grips with it.
Ross County, of course, had that amazing result in the semi-finals that stunned the world, basically. Can it be done again?
Well, we had a fantastic result against Hibs as well, and then to come here and produce the performance we did against Celtic was really top drawer, and it was highly spoken about, as you said, worldwide. Now we've got to put on a performance of the same stature, and we'll see what the outcome will be.
And what's the mood amongst the players?
Yeah, it's happy. The manager told them at the start of the week to enjoy the occasion. This is a special day. Not everyone gets lucky enough to be involved in today, and we're involved, and we've got to make the most of it.
Craig, whatever happens, hope you enjoy the day.
Pleasure, thank you.
And Big Brew, who really would prefer his record of being the only man to score a winning goal for United in the cup final to continue for a little while longer. Well, our build-up, of course, continues all the way through to kick-off time. Here's a little reminder of some of the treats we have in store for you. We visit Victoria Park for the inside story on Ross County's amazing season.
as of the first game of the season, there's been a belief and a determination in the change room.
Dundee United legends relive the glory years at Tannadice.
If they win the cup and have half the time that I had, they'll have the time in their life.
We'll have more classic clips from the Scottish Cup archive.
Mark McGee has put Aberdeen into the lead.
And a few more adventures along the road to Hampden.
That is absolutely brilliant.
So all that to come between now and kick-off time at 3 o'clock. Both teams have now arrived here at Hampden. In fact, Ross County deliberately quite early because they were a little bit late getting here because of traffic problems for the semi-final against Celtic. So they made sure they were here in plenty of time. But a fantastic day for the Highland club. The 5th team from outside the top division to reach the final, and all of them in the last 15 years, quite incredibly. None of them have managed to win though, looking to emulate East Fife from 1938. United, of course, here as well, looking for their second Scottish Cup victory. So we're getting all the closer to kick-off time at 3 o'clock. Now, Jonathan Sutherland's road to Hampden has reached round 4 in search of the proverbial cup upsets. There really weren't any, but there was controversy and confusion at East End Park.
It was this short walk from the dugout that sparked the major story of the 4th round of the Scottish Cup. Callum Woods entered the fray as a Dunfermline substitute in the 7-1 rout of Stenhousemuir. The only problem, he was ineligible.
Which basically rendered all these splendidly taken Dunfermline goals pretty pointless. Oh yeah, there was one Stenhousemuir goal as well.
So Dunfermline were kicked out of the Scottish Cup, only to be readmitted on appeal. The condition, the match be replayed at Stenhousemuir's Ochil View.
Where it started well enough for the Pars, Joe Cardle putting them 1-0 up. But Stenhousemuir would get a penalty. Greg Ross pushing Scott Gare apparently. Kevin Bradley forced the game into extra time. But Dunfermline scraped through. Andy Kirk with the winning goal to set up a 5th round home tie with Celtic. The Irvine Meadow bandwagon rolled on, this time to the capital. A real trip to the big time for the junior side, a clash with the SPL club Hibernian at Easter Road.
Break down the right through, David Watherspoon. He's got past Lowing into the area. Good ball from Watherspoon, it's into the net. Can Stokes get it behind the Meadow defence? He's up there on his own. He's done well to get past his marker. Can he create room for the shot? Stokes goes for the pass instead towards Zamama. First strikes Zamama. Gives him a chance now as they bust away through Paul Hanley's players in the middle. He doesn't need any of them. It's a beautiful finish from Hanley.
Staying in the capital at the Meadowbank Stadium, Edinburgh City went 1-0 down to Montrose, Stephen Nicholas with the goal. But the East of Scotland Premier League side would make a game of it. Dougie Gare finding the net, grievous bodily harm from his teammates, the reward. Montrose retook the lead with a looping header from John Maitland. And then, one of the goals of the tournament. From the edge of his own box, young substitute Darryl Nicholl took the ball for a run, which ended up with him slotting it home to make the final score 3-1. After a 5-1 demolition of Berwick Rangers in the 3rd round, Ross County would manage the same goal margin against 4th round opponents in Inverurie Locos. Stephen Craig scored the opener. Scott Morrison's free kick made it 2-0 just after half-time. And 3 minutes later, Craig made it 3-0 with his 2nd goal of the game. County would finish Locos off 4-0. Gary Miller with the goal. A cold night in Greenock, the Celtic fans out in force for a clash with Morton at Capello.
opportunity. Strong on the byline, forces it in for Samaras, and Niall McGinn settles Celtic's nerves.
To the dreaming spires of, well, Glasgow. Peter Houston's Dundee United, the visitors at Partick Thistle.
Dixon leaves it, Conway's ball in. Daly's header, Kenneth! Oh, it's gone in! It's Castle-Anuvo! Well, the Partick Thistle players are surrounding the referee. Castle-Anuvo went down with the head, the arm was in as well. Well, the Thistle fans are absolutely irate about that. Now Goodwilly's off. Can he keep it in play? He can. Castle-Anuvo's in the middle, Swanson arriving, Conway behind and Goodwilly doesn't need Conway, that's for sure, it's good play, Goodwilly! Oh, what a goal! What a way to win a cup tie!
At Pittodrie, an all-SPL clash, Aberdeen against Hearts.
On to Lee Miller through, sends it across, down Mackay! There is his first goal of the season! Aberdeen onside, and Aberdeen with the lead. That's Maguire wide. Mackay and Miller, left edge of the box. The delivery across, Mackay went down, Miller scores!
Former Aberdeen manager Jimmy Calderwood would get his first victory as manager of Kilmarnock. Manuel Pascali with the only goal of the game and a 1-0 win over Falkirk. Some silky skills from Ayr United's Mark Roberts was the difference at Somerset Park and a 1-0 victory over Brecon City. At Station Park, Forfar were shunted out of the Scottish Cup by St Johnstone. Liam Craig scored twice in a 3-0 win. Inverness Cantley Thistle reacquainted themselves with SPL opposition in the best possible way. Dougie Emery with the second in a 2-0 win over Motherwell. A double from Cup specialist St Mirren striker Billy Mehmet helped the SPL side past Alloa Athletic in a 3-1 victory. Postponed twice, this game saw just the one goal. Gary Harkins, the scorer, as Dundee edged it at Livingston. Albion Rovers sporting a strip the new government would be proud of, lost out to Stirling Albion 3-1. Paul Murphy with the final goal of the game after a scramble in the box. Wraith Rovers would earn themselves a fifth round tie with Aberdeen. Gregory Taddy with Wraith's second goal in a 3-1 victory over Airdrie.
Danger here, breaks back on a Whittaker. Davison to Boyd, perfect on to Kenny Miller, try and pass it home. And it's a shout for a penalty, and there is a penalty. Mency against McGregor. There was only one winner. Hastings swings it in, Mency gets a touch, Antoine Courier, has it gone out? It has! Oh, it's a slip. David Weir, here comes Antoine Courier, can he put his side ahead? What a sensational goal for Hamilton Accies. They were dead and buried, but goals 1, 2, 3 have put them ahead. What a comeback. It's a shout for handball, it's a penalty. Is it another double for Kenny Miller? It is. Rangers are level. Kenny Miller sends it across and Stephen Whittaker applies the final touch. Here comes Whittaker. Stephen Whittaker cuts inside, that's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. And Rangers go through to the last 16.
So, Stephen Whittaker to the rescue for Rangers. The Ibrox club through to the last 16. The romance of the Cup was over for the non-league teams though. The Scottish Cup fourth round as far as they'd go.
And as for goal of the round, well, that came at Meadowbank Stadium. Montrose against Edinburgh City, a Nevin-like run, this one.
I'll tell you what, Darryl Nicol, you can keep your 25-yarders for me, your diving headers and all that sort of stuff. This is what I call a great goal.
against a non-tackling defence.
I think they were scared to bring him down. He just kept on going, hoping that it would no one would take him. There was one attempted tackle. I don't know about the referee. The referee get closer to tackling than any of the defenders did at that point.
He did take it well. Good goal. Well done, Daryl Nicol. One controversial moment, I have to say, Robbo, the Damien Casale Nuovo goal for United at Firhill. Huge repercussions of this one. United are here in the final partly because of it, and also Huste's already said this was maybe the big turning point of the season.
And I think that's the big thing there, was that was the start of the running, the winning run, so to speak, because it was a tough game, and Thistle on the day were brilliant. They played very well, had lots of chances, clearly punched in, but as Kevin will touch in a minute, the officials just didn't have the angle to see it.
Yeah.
And that just shows you, does that, you know, the old sceptics, does that mean United's name's on the cup? You know, they've got through there, they could have been out, but more importantly for Dundee United themselves was, the fact is that it kicked them on. It took the nerves after Craig had left. It allowed Peter Houston to relax and recover from what was happening, the 7-1 thrashing of Rangers, etc. And look where they are now. You see that they're here. They've got a chance of winning the trophy.
Yeah. What do you know of that game, Kev?
I couldn't believe it. Like my best mate was a linesman, and it was scary. And I couldn't believe when he told me about it. He says he made the biggest boo-boo of his life. He says, and he says Dougie McDonald went across to him and says, "What did you see?" He says, "It's a goal. It's simple. It's a goal." And then clearly that night when he seen the highlights, phone call for Dougie, wasn't it? It was like, "What do you think of it now?" I went, I've never seen the hand. So it's just, it's one of those ones, isn't it? Like a little bit of luck you need. And United got that luck. It was a turning point.
Yeah, Ian McCall is still lying down in a darkened room, incidentally. Let's move on to another of the classic archive matches. And this is one that I cast my vote for as the best, certainly in my memory, and I've been coming here a few years. It was the McLean family final of 1991, and an absolute classic.
Into space for Griffin, who's doing some good work on the right from Motherwell. Releasing the early cross, there's Ferguson! It's a classic from Motherwell! The celebrations begin! It's a goal of outstanding quality to put Motherwell ahead. The cross here by Jim Griffin, who took up great position and was deflected, but just look at the accuracy there in the header. Equaliser. The goal has been scored by Bowman. Well, so close to a goal for Motherwell, and then it's Dundee United who have hit back. There's Dave Bowman drilling the ball in low, testing Alistair Maxwell, who couldn't get down. Cooper with a free kick, looking for Craig Patterson, getting up well. There's the header and the goal for Motherwell. He scored his first ever goal for Motherwell. The goal of skill and bravery and total commitment. But then a chance for Angus. 3-1 to Motherwell. Set up brilliantly by Kirk and finished by Angus. Still plenty of time for more drama to unfold, and still plenty of time for United to come back. There's Bowman's cross, the chance is on! John O'Neill for United! United hit back virtually instantly. John O'Neill pops up, and that's his first goal of the season also. And here's a chance for United. Darren Jackson's on his own, out comes Maxwell. Jackson has scored! The equaliser for Dundee United. Motherwell punished. Main's in trouble there, Steve Kirk. The super sub has done it again, and Motherwell are back in front.
He'll go a long way to get a better cup final, a better football match. Great memories of 1991. Now, whatever happens this afternoon, Ross County's journey, in every sense of the word, to the Scottish Cup final is one of the great stories of the Cup's 125-year history. Local boy Rob McLean is just one of the thousands of staggies who are on their way.
We're on our way from Dingwall down to Hampden Park today.
Life in this northern town has changed tempo. Sleepy Dingwall has woken up to the reality that Ross County are in the Scottish Cup final. As local band Torridon's reworking of a Proclaimers classic says, the Staggies are on their way to the biggest match in club history.
This brings it all back for me. Victoria Park in Dingwall used to be an old haunt of mine. I'd play school football for the Invergordon Primary in the morning, come and watch County in the Highland League in the afternoon. It used to be a rickety old stand that stood here way back then. My position for watching them just alongside. And boy, has this club come a long way since then.
Did you have a feeling at any point that, hey, this might actually end up going all the way? Did that ever cross your mind?
I think after about maybe half an hour of the first Hibs game, I think you saw the belief in the boys, the way that they went down Easter Road and really should have won the game. I think everybody thought that we'd had a chance, but I think again we showed in the replay that we were more than deserved winners. I think the biggest bonus as well, we went behind in both games. And to show the fight and the willing to win, it's a tribute to the boys.
We've been playing that all season. The people that have came to watch us, you know, they've all gave us plaudits. You know, we've took the plaudits in the papers after a lot of games this season. You know, we've knocked it about, and that's the type of players we've got in the changing room. You know, we like to get it down and pass it.
As of the first game of the season, there's been a belief and a determination in the changing room, and that definitely shone through in the semi-final.
Goal pick up, tackled good through the middle, it's delightful play, what a chance this is! And what a finish from Stephen Craig, Ross County take the lead at Hampden Park!
It was a pacey little run through the middle, wasn't it?
It was a bit pacey. I think a few of the boys are wondering where I got that from. I think for 10 minutes after that I was knackered, but it was like it was one of the goals that I'll remember for a long time.
Stephen Craig's former teammate Derek Adams is now his gaffer. Adams played for Motherwell, Aberdeen and Livingston, as well as Ross County, and took over as a very young manager in Dingwall 2.5 years ago.
The decision, it was difficult, yes, because I was so young. I was 32 at the time, and when you take over as a young manager, you've got to learn very quickly, and that brings pressure to it. Then I had to win the title, and in the first year as a manager, when you've got that pressure, it's very difficult, but we succeeded. We won the title, and we played with the style and panache that was asked.
Scott flicks it forward onto Barrowman. Barrowman going in. He's got Scott in the middle. Ross County are going to the Active Nations Scottish Cup final. Jimmy Scott seals it for them, and Ross County are living the dream.
You've scored 24 goals as a team on the way to the final. I mean, that's a pretty remarkable total.
Oh, it's magnificent. It's you know, to do it against the teams we've played against, because you know, Stirling Albion have gained promotion to the first division. You know, Hibernian are a top SPL side. Celtic, you know, a top side in the world, and it's been a marvellous experience for this football club.
County had never been beyond the Scottish Cup last 16 before this fairy tale season. The man behind the rise and rise of Ross County, pouring in his heart and soul and money, is President Roy McGregor.
Roy, some people have a problem with how a town population 6,000 can possibly be taking 20,000 to Hampden, but Ross County is more than just about Dingwall, isn't it?
No, it's very much a Highland club. Our area stretches from Shetland to Oban round to Elgin, and we have a community programme and a youth programme that works in that area, so we're not surprised that we're able to take that amount of people with us.
And it's such a big area, presumably there's a lot of untapped potential.
Yeah, the Highlands is an area as big as Holland and Belgium put together, so we've been working very hard at trying to work with the young people within our area to attract them as fans.
Opponents Dundee United had their one and only Scottish Cup triumph 16 years ago, just as Ross County were switching from Highland League to senior football. And it was the current county assistant manager, Craig Brewster, who tapped in the only goal.
And the goal-scoring hero, Craig Brewster.
Craig, as the man who's scored a cup final match winner for Dundee United, will your loyalties be any way split?
not at all, not at all. That was a long time ago, Rob. Counting back the years, 16, and remember it very well. And you always thought that, oh, this is going to happen often, but with smaller clubs it doesn't happen too often. And now the club find themselves in a Scottish Cup final, and hopefully one boy in that dressing room could be the hero.
Or will the hero today be wearing tangerine? Dundee United have been best of the rest in the SPL this season, out with the Old Firm, and Canty have plenty respect for them.
They're riding high, and they've got a lot of good players, but so have we. And it's who performs best on the day.
Is there a danger that you've peaked already by beating Celtic?
No, I think that's down to the players in the dressing room. You know, we've got players in the dressing room that will not let anybody else get ahead of themselves. You know, the boys have realised that the final's bigger than the semi-final. You know, it's a final of a Scottish Cup that doesn't come around too often. You know, and we've got to go and enjoy it and show no fear, and you know, go and hopefully put on a good display.
2 trips to Hampden inside 5 weeks is beyond County's wildest dreams, but they didn't go to the semi-final to make up the numbers, and they're equally focused this time.
It's fairy tale stuff, really. Like he says, we're the most northerly club in Scotland. I think population is about 5,000 up here. So for a team of this stature, to reach the Scottish Cup final, it's beyond belief. But it'd be nice to win it.
It's the stuff you dream about when you're a kid, you know, kicking the ball about, and you know, back when you're younger, you know, you always say, oh, I want to go and lift the Scottish Cup, and you know, we're in that situation now where we've got to a final, you know, and hopefully if we do win it, you know, that'll be a dream fulfilled for me. Dundee United will be very wary of us. They're a top side. They've finished third in the SPL. They believe that they can go on and win the Scottish Cup, but we've got no doubts that we're going to Hampden to try and win the Cup, and we haven't done us so well in this competition without going there on the day and trying to win the competition.
It's just one of the great stories, isn't it? A town of 5,000 people, one of the smallest towns in the UK, never mind Scotland, with a senior football club, bringing 20,000 fans to a Scottish Cup final. Tell me about Derek Adams, Pat. You know him well. He's an intense character, very hard-working character, talented manager.
Often mentioned the fact that he's quite religious, etc. as well, but he's very, very driven. His attitude towards us, getting the best out of himself as he possibly can. There was a period of time I remember at Motherwell, he came in my office once. He wasn't always the most popular player with the fans. Sometimes, you know, the boo boys would aim it at him. And once he came into the office saying, look, I think it's maybe time to go. And I said to him, look, really talk to him hard out of it. And he stayed on, and he had another year or so after that. The reason why I liked him as a player, personality, strength of personality, and also the way he acted on the pitch, in the training ground. Everybody could learn from watching that guy work. Now that's what he was like as a player. He's exactly the same as a manager as well. He's going to go far. I'll tell you what, Ross County, enjoy having him just now. He's going to go far in this game as a manager.
But you could easily take on the view that, yeah, this is the little team coming for their nice day out in the sunshine, it'll be great, and that's as far as it goes. But there's more than that going on at Ross County, John, isn't it? Absolutely.
You talk about Roy McGregor, talk about the community aspect of the club, which is fantastic. They do work very, very hard, and that's his game. We've had a president, we had Gretna come in here, a very small town, big thing, and they took Hearts all the way to penalties. Now, one thing people should remember about this Ross County side is they're all packed with SPL experience. They've all played 5-6 years in the Premier League, most of them. So this is not a naive team coming down here from the sticks and coming down to turn up and be rolled over. This lot know what they're doing, and they're focused and they're driven, and they'll give United a game today, absolutely. If they can play the game they're used to, they can certainly win the Cup, there's no doubt about it. And it's, as you say, this is what Scottish Cup football, or Cup football in general, is all about. The wee team, against all the odds, getting to the Cup final. You know, we had Alistair McCoy in a famous, not so famous movie doing it. This is it. They are living the dream.
This is Kilnockie, is it?
This is it is. This is the true real life story of what that film was all about.
But at the same time, I mean, OK, Dingwall may be geographically remote from the central belt, but the facilities are fantastic. Yeah, there are things happening up there. It's not just about a one-off, is it?
It's well, as you said, I live up in the Highlands now. It's a fantastic place to live, and they're trying to improve the facilities all the time. Ross County used their connections to get the Highland Academy based at Dingwall, so they've got the big indoor thing that's used by everybody in the Highlands, Inverness included. Go up there, there's wonderful pitches there, so there is a huge community club. And you know, for many years the Highland League has been laughed at, but these guys have come through. Inverness have come through, they're back in the Premier League. Ross County are now an established first division club. They've now reached their first Scottish Cup final. So there's a lot of good players up there. It is a fair distance to go up, but I tell you what, there's some talent in the Highlands.
Should be a great final. All right, let's talk to one of the big Dundee United fans who's here today, the Queen of Breakfast Television, who's with Jane.
Yes, thanks. So we're with Dundee United celebrity fan Lorraine Kelly. Lorraine, dressed to kill, looking great.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, well, you know, it's a very fashionable colour and aren't we all looking amazing?
Orange handbag even.
Yes, and shoes, everything, the full whack.
How are you feeling today? Are you confident?
No, I'm nervous. I'm nervous and not taking anything for granted. They're a really, really hard side, but I think it's just going to be an amazing day. Way, thank you. It's going to be a great day. It's a brilliant atmosphere. Really looking forward to Lee Wilkie, you know, taking the side on. I think that's a brilliant gesture, and it's just going to be great. And it's brilliant to see so many fans here as well. It's just brilliant.
Have you been to a Hampden Cup final before involving your team?
Yes, I have. Don't want to talk about that. Thanks.
That'd be '91 then.
Yes.
But you're here for the semi-final.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've never actually seen them win a trophy because in '94 my baby girl was just about to be born, so I've never actually done that. So I'm hoping today, fingers crossed, everything crossed, everything crossed.
Well, enjoy your day. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Well done, Lorraine, who apparently turned down a trip to New York to interview the girls from Sex and the City because she wanted to be here at Hampden to support her team, so good on her. Not too many potholes left on the road to Hampden. We've got to round 5 and the first big shock of the tournament in the Granite City. Here's Johnny.
If, like me, you're an Aberdeen fan, it's fair to say it's been a pretty dismal season, unless your idea of fun is a relegation battle. Surely the Cup would offer some respite for Mark McGee's men.
Well, no. At Starks Park, Raith Rovers took a 1-0 lead against the Dons through Ian Williamson, and it looked like being enough. But in the last minute of injury time, Aberdeen salvaged a dramatic equaliser, Gary McDonald with the goal.
After the late drama at Starks Park, it was back here to Pittodrie for the replay. Aberdeen's strong favourites to take care of First Division Raith.
But it would be a disastrous night for the Dons. Gregory Tade's goal the difference, a long run of celebration from the Wraith striker, and a long walk for Dons manager Mark McGee, subjected to plenty of verbal abuse and alleged spitting from some of the disgusted home support.
Good shot, good goal! That's a delightful piece of play by Finn. Sent across, the equalising goal comes from David Graham. Well, it was a shout for a push, and it was a push. Kirk against Bonnet, and Andy Kirk passed Dunfermline Athletic into the leads. Hidden by Brown, comes back to Rasmussen, gets it, second attempt. Gallagher. Sent across and turned on by Rasmussen. Here's Robbie Keane, the challenge from behind, the ball bouncing around and the referee says penalty. It's a first Celtic goal for Robbie Keane.
Montrose Scottish Cup run came to a juddering halt with a mauling at Easter Road. Colin Nish opened the scoring for Hibs, and 20 minutes later he made it 2-0. Hibs' third was a rocket from Derek Riordan, and although Montrose pulled one back, further strikes from Abdeslam Benjloun and debutant Alan Gow rounded off a 5-1 victory. Hard to beat to Killie Pie, and hard to beat actual Killie as far as Inverness were concerned.
Well, Sam might try to latch onto that. He's under pressure from Bill Veeders with Salmon. Knocks it over the goalkeeper. And Kilmarnock hit the front. Liam Kelly deflected. Deep ball, Jamie Zardy leaves it. Oh, a fine finish, and it's 2 for Liam Kelly.
If you're prone to seasickness, look away now. Former Dundee striker Tam McManus putting Ayr United 1-0 up against his old side. Dundee were able to level the scores, if not the television camera. On loan Celtic striker Ben Hutchison making it 1-1. At this point of the season, these were happy days for Jockey Scott and his Dundee side, riding high in the First Division, and the home side would win this match. Ayr keeper Craig Sampson with the assist, Lee Griffiths with the goal.
right on the line, and into the net! And the hero from the last round puts United in front! Delight for Peter Houston!
The big sports scene live match was St Mirren versus Rangers. It finished 0-0. It was pretty dire, to be honest. These were the highlights. Yep, that was about it. The replay was marginally more entertaining, mainly for this spat between two elderly gentlemen at the sidelines. We finally got a goal. 4 minutes from time, Chris Boyd to the rescue for the cup holders. Rangers through 1-0 winners. In the north of Scotland, the Ross County juggernaut was beginning to build up speed. After 5-1 and 4-0 victories over Berwick Rangers and Inverurie Locos, County were hungry for even more goals. Alex Keddy headed in the first. A double from Michael Gardine. The second, an absolute peach, made it 3-0 at half-time. In the second half, the goals continued to rain in. Gary Wood with a quick-fire double made the score 5-0. A Richard Britton penalty made it 6-0. Stuart Kettlewell then made it 7. And Scott Morrison scored direct from a free kick for number 8. Gary Wood completed his hat-trick as it finished 9-0, which equalled Stirling's worst ever defeat.
So, impressive stuff from Ross County, but their best was yet to come. Undoubtedly, the shock of round 5 was Raith Rovers putting out Aberdeen here at Pittodrie. And the less said about St Mirren Rangers, the better.
9 of County's 24 on the way to Hampden today, and that against the team who won the Second Division Championship. Team news, I think. Let's get over to see whether Paul and Craig have got the final lineups for us.
We certainly have, Dougie. I can tell you that Derek Adams left it very late to tell his side who was playing, but it's the same 11 who lined up against Celtic who'll take the field here this afternoon, and that means 7 ever present in the Scottish Cup this season for Derek Adams' side. So they line up very familiar looking in terms of personnel, Craig.
Well, no surprise at all, Paul. That was a sensational performance against Celtic, and the manager sending them out here back at Hampden, hoping they can do it one more time. What it is, it's an attacking team. They have come here to play. They're not going to sit in. They're going to try and take the game to Dundee United.
In terms of Dundee United, injury robs them of both Dixon and Dodds. Gary Kenneth and Mikhail Kovacevic come in. That's not a bad pairing to come into your side.
No, Gary Kenneth would always be playing. The question of right back, Keith Watson or Mikhail Kovacevic. The manager has gone for experience elsewhere. All the big hitters are back. Webster, Gomez, Boabin, Goodwillie, Daly. A very, very strong Dundee United side.
Dundee United beat them in the League Cup in September. Does that have a bearing on today?
I think that's a bearing because I spoke to people who were at the game and they said United look strong, too strong for Ross County. They've got to be able to match that today, or Dundee United at set pieces will cause all sorts of problems.
We're off to warm up before kick-off. Join us for that.
Don't pull anything important now. Let's reflect on those two lineups then, starting with Ross County, who are, well, I suppose the home team, if you like. No surprises, Pat, really. I think we felt that Derek would probably go with the team that beat Celtic. Would you agree?
Yeah, really keen to see if he was going to go back to a 4-4-2, but no, he's going to stay with Sigurd Barrowman up front. Guys getting from midfield as often as possible, help him. That'll be Gardine and Craig, particularly more than anyone else. But yeah, it's the team that they perform so well. If they've managed to beat Celtic, if they've managed to beat Hibs over 2 games, they're not going to be fearful of anyone. And I think tactically, Derek Adams got it brilliantly right against Celtic. Now, that was one of the downsides of Celtic looking forward to Neil Lennon's new manager, that tactically I think he was outthought in that game. The start of the game, I think Robbo and I were chatting about this, we would have been really surprised had they left it open and not went for a sitting midfielder, and Britton will be a sitting midfielder.
From the United point of view, pretty predictable, I think, Kevin. No real surprises. Kovacevic back in for Keith Watson might be the only one that you say, well, was that going to happen? But he's fit.
Yeah, but Kovacevic, you know, it's his pace as well there as well. You know, when to get in there, he's a little bit more experienced. So again, the rest of the players, the team basically picked itself more or less, and if everybody was fit, it was going to be that side, and I think we all guessed it in the studio here that it was more or less the 11 that was going to start.
Yeah, they've got great, in midfield they're particularly strong. Swanson and Conway wide are a real threat, aren't they?
I think that's where United have got to get it today. They've got to take it from the midfield. I think if they can get it wide to the two wide boys and get them to get the crosses, get the service into the front two from there, I think they'll do it. Against Celtic in the league a couple of weeks ago, I watched them and Celtic done it very well. They stopped that midfield and went on and won the game dead easy. Maybe United had half an eye on the cup final, but if United are going to win this game, they have to win it in the midfield area.
Yeah. And Daly and Goodwillie are becoming a very useful combination, aren't they?
Well, big man, little man. You know, I was part of combination for many, many years, and it's brilliant. You know, Goodwillie will run the channels, Daly will get up there, he'll be the big one, take the physical presence and help him out. If they two can combine today, there's goals in them.
You were saying earlier, Robert, that you think that if there's an advantage either way, it might be that United are a more physical side. Is that a big factor, do you think?
Physical in the way they're built and that they're strong. There's no doubt about that. But for me, you know, I saw them beat, as I said earlier on, County up in Dingwall in the CS Cup. They sat Bobbin and Gomez right in front of the back four and let Swanson and Conway get forward. That night it was Daly and Castelnuovo, and they were terrific. And the delivery from Conway in particular was absolutely magnificent. And County couldn't handle it. They scored big Lee Wilkie, who we mentioned will lead the team out, bulleted in a header, and then little Johnny Russell came late on and scored. And they out-muscled and out-fought County. County didn't even have a shot at goal. But today I think will be different. I like the look of the County lineup. Richard Britton will sit, Vigurs can pass the ball, Scott will get forward, Garden will get forward, Craig will get forward, Barrowman will hold up. But for me, the key to the game is United's two wide men.
And I would argue one other thing very quickly. Craig and Gardyne playing out wide could kill off the service today's two United wide men. So immediately you can see what Derek Adams is thinking. He knows where the danger is. Agrees with Robbo, try and kill that area.
Yeah. And just I thought we feel for Dodds and Dixon, the two players who miss out for United because of injury. Right, back to the memorable Scottish Cup finals and back to 1998 this time. And another which brought a long-awaited joy for the Jambos. And of course marked the end of an era for one of the great Rangers sides.
With Fulton turning away from Ian Ferguson. Good direct run from Fulton. It's a penalty. It's a penalty kick after 30 seconds. The Rangers players are stunned. But Willie Young was on the spot to make the ruling. Can he calm his nerves? He can. Colin Cameron fires Hearts in front. 90 seconds on the clock. The Hearts fans celebrate. It's a dream opening for them. Amoruso lets it run. It's a dam! Stefan Adam for Hearts! It's a blunder by Amoruso, and Adam makes Rangers pay 7 minutes into the second half, and that's 2-0. Rangers about to make another change. Ian Ferguson, I think, will come off in a minute. Threaded through by Gattuso to McCoist, and Ali McCoist strikes with 9 minutes left. Now, the moment that Hearts have waited so long for. They take delivery of the 10th Scottish Cup.
A great day for everyone at Tynecastle, including, of course, John Robertson. Long time coming, John, but the scenes in Gorgie Road the next day, I'm sure, will live with you for a long time.
Absolutely, still get goosebumps when you see that, absolutely, you know, and to finally get the Scottish Cup, get a winner's medal. The fact I didn't get on is neither here nor there at the time, because you were just delighted, you know, to win it, and I'm sure we talk about Dodds and Watson who missed it, they'll be exactly the same today as well, but it was a fabulous day, and you know, the long-awaited joy, the elation of the fans for not just that day, the next day and the next again. It was a bank holiday Monday. It was 3 brilliant days in the capital, I can assure you.
And the winners today will become the first non-Old Firm side to win the Cup since Hearts did so back in 2006. Now, we've reached the quarter-finals on the road to Hampden. 4 cracking matches. Celtic at Kilmarnock, an all First Division clash at Dens, trip to Easter Road for Ross County, and Rangers, who of course were challenging for the domestic treble at the time, at home to Dundee United. That one, a bit of a cup tie classic.
Over
opportunity for Charlotte to make a name for himself, and he has! Kenny Miller is onside, second touch wasn't great, the goalkeeper doesn't make the save, he's pushed Kenny Miller down. So Dusan Turnes up against Chris Boyd. Blasted into the corner by Chris Boyd. Inviting ball forward, little nudge there, penalty. Chris Boyd, will he go the same way? Will he change? He changes! Davis, on to Nacho Noble. Nacho Noble for Rangers! Gary Kenneth can simply deflect it and it'll be Nacho Noble's goal. A deep course, Daly was looking for it, Kenneth stayed up, Gomez hits it, deflected on goal! Stephen Whittaker knocked it behind his own goal. Ball sent across, Canelo rattles the bar! It's beautifully done and Kovacevic will equaliser!
That goal forced the replay and another trip to Tayside for Rangers.
Tannadice, the home of Dundee United and the place where last season Rangers wrapped up the SPL title. This season it would be a different story for Rangers. No sun-drenched celebrations this time round. Instead, just a cold, dark Dundonian evening where Rangers' hopes of a treble would disappear into the night.
The only goal of the game would be scored by David Robertson in the 88th minute. He didn't know too much about it, but that really didn't matter.
Spins in behind, that's who Braithwaite's looking for. Keane's in here, and it's a terrific goal from Robbie Keane. Fortunately, he's got Keane in the middle if you can find him. Cuts it by, must be a goal. Fortunately, has Keane in the middle once more, slightly behind him, but Keane with a chance. What a finish by Robbie Keane. What a hat-trick. There's the celebration.
Drop here. Oh, it's into the net. What a strike that is! And what a brilliant start for Raith Rovers. Walker's ball in. Oh, it's 2-0! This is unbelievable from Raith Rovers. This is Harkins. Good play away from Williamson. Home fans on their feet for this. It's in! It's the goal they crave, Dundee. Full-time whistle goes, and Raith Rovers are into the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup for the first time in 47 years.
This would be an odd day at Easter Road. The East Stand demolished, strange proclamations draped around the stadium, and the Leith locals would require a stiff drink after watching this football match.
Well, that's a mess from Ross County. Hawk with a chance. Turned down by Collinush. Scott flicks it through. Onside. Gandhi with a chance. Good save. Oh, unlucky. And Ross County are level. Derek Randall's escape from Boyd. You cannot allow him the space because he is simply clinical. Through by Lossick, Gardner's onside! That is a marvellous finish by Michael Gardner!
For a while it looked like Hibs would sort things out in Dingwall. Anthony Stokes with the opening goal early in the second half. But these days we know, never write Ross County off. Gary Wood scrambled home an equaliser as Victoria Park erupted. And County grew in strength. In injury time, it happened. Scott Boyd with a header, 2-1 Ross County. As the final whistle sounded, incredible scenes. Hibs' 108-year exile in the Scottish Cup wilderness would last for at least another year. As for Ross County, they'd never made it past the last 16. Now they were in the semi-final.
So, a great night in Dingwall for Ross County. The reward, the semi-final against Celtic at Hampden. As for Dundee United, they'd take on Raith Rovers, Raith having taken care of Dundee over the road at Dens Park.
Well, Hampden's beginning to fill up in the sunshine in this cup final afternoon. 27,000 United fans just by our studio at this end of the ground, getting on for 20,000 county fans at the other. And Jane has been talking to a few of them.
Yes, it's fair to say the Arabs are in town, Dougie. Let's talk to one or two of them now. You looking forward to the cup final, sir?
Oh yes, certainly.
Dressed to kill as well?
Absolutely, we're going to win. 4-0.
Now tell me a bit about, you've been to a lot of cup finals in the past. Tell me a bit about your...
Been the last 9 cup finals, but this is the big one. This is the one we're definitely going to win.
Score?
3-0.
Let's talk to some more people over here. There's some little kids here. You looking forward to the big day?
Yeah.
Who's going to win?
Dundee United.
You had to think about it there. What about yourself? Are you a confident man?
Yes, definitely going to win. Definitely going to win. I'm going for 4-0 to United, easily.
Really? Did you see what Ross County did against Celtic? They were quite impressive, were they not?
Poor Celtic.
Let's talk to some more fans. Who do you think is going to score today?
David Goodwillie and John Daly. Hands up for John Daly!
Brilliant stuff for the Dundee United fans. Certainly up for this one, Dougie.
I love the young man had to think about who was going to win it, though. As every Dundee United fan knows only too well, this is a Tangerine's 9th cup final, and only once have they gone home with a trophy. Now, all 9 of those finals have come in the last 36 years. And as Jim Spence recalls, it's the modern era which has provided the greatest moments in the club's 100-year history.
In 1909, Dundee United started life as Dundee Hibernian before changing their name in 1923. For the first 50-odd years, there was little remarkable about them as they lived in the shadow of the city neighbours. They hit the headlines beating Barcelona in the Old Firms Cup. But in the late 70s and 80s, United started playing the kind of football they've become known for. It was all down to one man, Jim McLean.
When he came in, we didn't know what he was talking about at times, but he got us really fit, got the tactics spot on, knew what he was wanting, and everybody knew their job.
Secretly, he probably quite liked the reputation that he got.
Hold that ball, don't do that!
And certainly football-wise, there was nobody better with any more knowledge than we, Jim.
And he was crazy at times, you know, but by the same token, there was genius about him.
Get the band stirred up.
When you get 2 League Cup trophies and a championship and doing very well in Europe, you know, for a size of club like Dundee United, looking back, it was exceptional.
The historic first trophy for McLean's Dundee United came against Aberdeen in a League Cup final replay at Dens Park.
Mother, close your eyes.
Until you win something, you're always thinking, oh, we're going to be also Rangers, you're just going to play. But when winning the League Cup, win it again, and then you're going on, and it's a belief, and winning's it's a knock-on effect.
The ice on the cake was in 82, 83, and win the league campaign.
United have done it for the first time in their history.
I don't think anybody thought it was possible for a team to win it outside Celtic Rangers.
Babysitting, will you be drunk babysitting?
Yes, thank you very much, Paul.
The good thing is the players were always at the club for a long period. But in our time, you know, we were great friends, we're still great friends, we still have reunions, and I think that shows.
Well, here's another glass, by the way. Go on, come on, one wee sip.
Thanks very much.
2 sips in your football career.
I repeat the famous words, Miller, close your eyes.
That league title saw United head into the European Cup, where they made it all the way to the semi-final against Roma. But despite a 2-0 win at Tannadice, in Rome, United were fed to the Lions.
It is probably the biggest game that, you know, Dundee United have ever played, the semi-final a European Cup. Obviously it's now the Champions League, you know. It's big time, you know, and at the time a lot of the young players didn't realise it, but the older squad did, and we didn't play particularly well. I certainly didn't play particularly well, and we lost 3-0 eventually.
The 40s in Europe continued in 1987 when they faced the might of Terry Venable's Barcelona in the UEFA Cup. Kevin Gallagher's goal gave United a precious lead, but it was the 2-1 victory in the new camp that will go down as one of the greatest ever achievements.
Even last week I was sitting watching Barcelona and Inter Milan, and the boy sitting in my house said to me, well, what a place that is, and I said, I know. I said, I've actually went and played there, and you know, I think he was a bit taken aback, the fact that how could Dundee United go there and actually win a game of football in there, you know?
I mean, they were a great team, but it wasn't, I don't know, it was just something within it. Like, you just thought, I mean, there was no fear of them. There was no fear of anybody at that time.
Red run by Ferguson here, can he put it away? Out!
1987 was to end with double disappointment for United. First, the Scottish Cup defeat to St Mirren, before the UEFA Cup hopes were crushed by IFK Gothenburg at Tannadice. Then, in 1991, the McLean brothers faced off in one of the greatest ever Scottish Cup finals. Once again, though, it ended in disappointment for Jim McLean and United.
Lane's in trouble there, Steve Kirk! The super sub has done it again!
We get back to 3-3 and everything was buoyant, and before we knew it, we were 4-3 down again. We never even got a chance to catch our breath because we chased and chased and chased, and it just became too much for us in that game.
But in 1994, the trophy, which had eluded McLean and United for so long, was brought back to Dundee by Ivan Gola.
Christian Daly, has he scored? Brewster has! United are ahead! A disaster for Ali Maxwell!
The desperation to win it. I mean, you become so desperate, having been there so many times. You just become so desperate to win it.
Dave Bowman, the hero.
It was worth the wait, to be honest, because all the dreams and that you aspire to, it never let us down one bit, and we just really enjoyed it to the full, and it was just a brilliant memory.
What advice would you give to the guys before in the lead up to the game against Ross County? What advice on the day would you give them?
The big thing is make sure you take part in the game, because I always found the bigger games were the easier games to play well in. If they win the cup and have half the time that I had, they'll have the time in their life.
Centenary year.
Yeah, because you keep getting told about it. Yeah, I suppose it's a big thing, and I think there's always coincidences in football, no matter how you look. Obviously, this is a big one because it's such a big year for the club, and a lot has been made of it. But I'm sure if you asked the fans, they'd have taken any year,
He's got Scott in the middle! Ross County are going to the Active Nations Scottish Cup final!
How tough a side will Ross County be?
Yeah, we know it's going to be a really tough game. They've beaten Celtic, who finished second in the SPL, so and I think they beat them quite comfortably on the day. So it's a one-off game. Anything can happen on a day. If 4 or 5 of our players aren't at par, then anything can happen. But I think we're obviously going in as favourites, and we need to make sure we handle that pressure.
We watched the game in the stadium, and we were very surprised how good they were, because we played them earlier in the season and they were good. They were a hard team to beat, but against Celtic on that big pitch they were brilliant. So we've got to watch ourselves, I think.
It's a big day for the club and for all the supporters and the players and all the staff and families, and I think we need to make sure that we go about the job in the right way, and I think if we do that, then I don't see why we can't come home with the cup.
I really don't care how we do it. Once we do it, I'm just desperate to be going away from Hampden as a winner.
United's now generation with a tough task of emulating the achievements of the illustrious predecessors in the 80s. One of the great goals and great nights of that great United team, of course, was the win over Barcelona at Tannadice, and this is your chance, Kevin, to set the record straight. This famous goal, did you mean it?
Even to this day, Dougie, I remember at the time doing an interview after the game, and I think I said I meant it. But I think it was one of them things. I was a young lad going through the emotions of the time. But we done a lot of set plays, throw-ins, and Luggy just miscontrolled it, and I've just put it in the middle. It's in the back of the net. It's a goal, isn't it?
It was either a bad cross or a goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I just accept it.
Great memories and great days at United. And in many ways that was a golden era for Scottish football. The new firm, Fergie at Pittodrie, wee Jim at Tannadice.
That was brilliant, you know, as I said, and the confirmation of the new firm made something else, and Dundee United felt something, but it was Jim McLean and the way he ran the club, you know, it was absolutely fantastic, and it had a nice mix of youth and experience as well. I mean, some said we had too many youths coming through the ranks that could play first team football, and we wasted an awful lot of the talent, but I mean, we all played together, we knew what we wanted to do, and the way that his training was, until you'd done coaching, you didn't realise how good a coach Jim McLean was and how far ahead of his time he was.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you that. What was the real key? Was it, could he spot a player better than most, or was his coaching better than most?
I think his theories and everything, he could spot a player, but he had a lot of scouts out there looking at people, then he would watch them as well. But, you know, his coaching theories on the training ground were phenomenal. You know, he was going out, he would set up functions that players didn't realise why they were doing it. But it was set up for the Saturday against the team you were playing against, and then on the Saturday, and until I started doing coaching, I didn't realise, and I think back now, that's what he was actually doing, and this is why. But he was doing a system at Dundee United as a 4-3-3 that now is classed as a 4-3-3, but we were doing it back in the 80s. It was unbelievable. So to me, he was always a way ahead of his time in the coaching side of it.
It was a wonderful era, and I mean, it's a tough act now for any United manager to follow that, isn't it?
It's a very tough act, but it's just a shame he never won more trophies, you know, because I think if any manager in Scotland deserves more trophies was Jim McLean. You know, we've seen Sir Alex winning the European trophies with Aberdeen, which was a mean feat to do. It was just a shame we couldn't do that at Dundee United. You know, we just fell at the final hurdle. We don't know why, we just couldn't put our finger on it, but it would have been nice if we could have won the European trophy, won the Scottish Cups for him, because it would have been a great occasion for him and somebody would merit it.
Yeah, but hey, a European Cup semi-final, a UEFA Cup final, the League Championship, maybe that was the biggest achievement of all, Pat, for a team like United to become Scottish champions in '83.
And try not to forget the fact that there were some decent teams around at the time. I mean, Scottish football had good teams around at the time. Yeah, brilliant, but the difficult thing for any team out with the finances is keeping that going over a longer period of time. And it's nice to see Dundee United back where I think they should be, and they are now. You know, third in the league and the Scottish Cup final, playing good football as well. It's great to see them do it.
Well, we'll talk about the current team and their chances of winning a second cup final this afternoon very shortly, but we've reached the semi-finals, the penultimate stage of the road to Hampden. Only 4 teams left on a journey, of course, which had begun back before the end of September last year, and 2 of them were from the First Division.
So, here we are, the final leg of the journey at the sacred home of Scottish football. We've had some classic Scottish Cup shocks over the years, but the shocks rarely happen at Hampden.
The word unbelievable is overused in football, but I'll tell you what, I'm using it now. Unbelievable by Queen of the South.
Yeah, apart from that one. Thanks. As it turned out, we were in for a massive shock as Little Ross County took on the mighty Celtic. The cameraman standing about here, he was in for a big shock as well.
14-1 the odds on a Ross County win as the bus rolled into Hampden. County's young manager Derek Adams up against Celtic's new interim boss Neil Lennon. The laughs would be in short supply for the Celtic fans. Plenty for the snappers to feast on. And as for the thousands of Ross County fans who'd made the journey from the Highlands, they were about to witness one of the most memorable moments in Scottish Cup history.
Boyd wins the header. Chases after it. Incredible pick up. Saka moves through the middle. It's delightful play. What a chance this is! Oh, what a finish from Stephen Craig. Ross County take the lead at Hampden Park. The players simply deserved it. And Dingwall is delighted. Scott flicks it forward onto Barrowman. Barrowman going in. He's got Scott in the middle. Ross County are going to the Active Nations Scottish Cup final. Jimmy Scott seals it for them. And Ross County are living the dream. Never believe anything is impossible. They started the Scottish Cup campaign in November. It will end next month in the final.
You don't get this sort of thing at Starks Park. Probably worth a closer look. Wraith Rovers, the underdogs against Dundee United.
Could John McGlynn's First Division side do what Ross County had managed the previous day and dump SPL opposition out of the cup?
For David Goodwillie, and all the good work of Wraith Rovers is unpicked with one pass and one finish. David Goodwillie, the hero. Sent it now, Daly at the header and shoots it to Andy Webster. Well, John Daly couldn't reach it, Andy Webster could. Piles the ball into the corner and sends Dundee United surely now into the Scottish Cup final. It is all over at Hampden Park, and Dundee United spoil the ambitions of Wraith Rovers. And for the third time in 5 years, the Scottish Cup final will be a face-off between sides from different divisions.
Well, even inside our Hampden studio, you're aware of the buzz of pre-match anticipation out there in the sunshine. Less than half an hour away from kick-off time. Let's just reflect on those two semi-finals. All credit to John McGlynn and his Wraith Rovers side, because United, I remember you and I talking about it on the day, Pat, they started pretty nervously in that semi-final. They'll have to guard against that today.
Yeah, I think it's a big help for them having that, you know, because against underdogs again for the first time, and, you know, all the pressure was on them. So they know the gig today. They know what's going to happen today. They've been through it once before. But they've got enough players that are capable. And we know, particularly going forward, that they are very, very creative. And they're a team that, I think we talked earlier on the show about the fact that, you know, going off the boil a little bit, not playing the best football they've played in this season so far. But I think they've been holding it in. And I think we all agree they've been holding it in. And this afternoon, they will come out all guns firing, no doubt.
And when you look back again, and no matter how many times we see it, John, that win for Ross County over Celtic, and it wasn't just a case of they won it by scoring and then defending backs to the wall. I mean, they won it comfortably in the end.
No, they were stunning. That's the best way. It was a stunning scoreline. It was a stunning performance. The way they went about it from the off, and Pat's right, United will have to guard against that, because they were about Celtic. They forced Celtic to play balls in field. We had 3 lads against the Celtics 2. They were nicking balls off them. They were right onto the Celtic back 4 away. Gardine was coming in, Craig was coming in, Jimmy Scott was getting beyond them. So that's how they started off, and they just took it on and took it on. Celtic simply just couldn't match them on the day. The physical side of it, the actual fitness aspect of it, County were all over them and deservedly won the game 2-0.
Yeah. What was your reaction? You were obviously down south, Kevin, when you saw that. I mean, like, to be fair, most people looking at it would say Celtic big favourites. They have to be.
Massive favourite, big surprise, I must admit. Massive surprise. You know, I think basically put them top favourites, 3 or 4 goals, easy. And on the day they never found that out. But I think sometimes when you do play against an underdog, you do take your foot off the gas a little bit. Had a few changes at Celtic, and obviously it was a big disruption. But I think Ross County on the day played very, very well. But I think they caught Celtic at the right time for Ross County.
Yeah. We all know big matches, be it internationals, cup finals, whatever, mentality is so important, isn't it? And how the two teams will go out there today. How strong is the belief that they can win this cup?
I think you've got to believe it, you know, there's no doubt about it. You've got to get that belief in you, that you're going to, if you don't have that belief, you shouldn't be here in the cup final, because that's what gets you here in the first place, is that belief, the inner belief inside yourself. The only thing is they can't afford to leave it in the dressing room and forget about it on the park. We've got to do it on the park.
No. I said, but when you look at it, United are very impressive 3rd in the SPL. Ross County 5th in Division 1. We shouldn't be talking about this being a close match.
To a degree, but remember the season was a strange season for Ross County. Too many games at the end of the season, and they had to take their foot off the gas. They should have been challenging for that title as well. One other thing to add on top of this, they're a footballing team. Usually the lower league team come here and are exhausted because it's a big pitch. Actually, this suits Ross County. That's their type of pitch.
Interesting. Let's hear from the two managers then. And firstly, Ross County's Derek Adams, still just 34 years old, already a manager for 2 years, could be the youngest ever manager to lift the Scottish Cup. He's with Jonathan.
Derek, the culmination of this incredible Ross County fairy tale is almost upon us. Does it have a happy ending?
Well, I hope so. You know, we performed very well this year. We've played against Hibs and Celtic. You know, Celtic in the semi-final was a fantastic performance. We'll need to do the same today again.
How do you sense the mood amongst your players?
The mood's great. You know, they're in jovial mood, but you know, they're prepared properly and they're looking forward to the game. We need to go and pass the ball. We need to take possession of the ball and use it in the right areas. And we certainly have the players on the park capable of doing that.
Does it feel at all slightly unreal, Derek?
It doesn't feel like the Scottish Cup final today, and you know, that feeling we'll get, you know, when we get onto that park. But it's a football match. We have to go and win. We win it, you know, we have the opportunity of winning the Scottish Cup.
What sort of game do you think we're going to see today, Derek?
Hopefully it's an enjoyable game. Two good teams. You know, we like to pass the ball, and we've got creative players on our side. And if we can have that and they perform to their full ability, then we have every chance of winning the game.
The victory in the semi-final over Celtic, of course, it stunned the world pretty much, Derek. In a way, does that work against you against Dundee United in the final?
Well, Dundee United have performed very well. They've finished third in the SPL this year, but we've played against Hibs and Celtic, and these are two good sides as well. So Dundee United are no different from that respect, but it's a difficult test.
And how important will this incredible 20,000 Ross County fans in the stadium, how important is that going to be to the players today?
They are important for us. You know, their backing has been tremendous over the last couple of months, and to get 20,000 people here today is magnificent, and it's been a great week. We're enjoying it. Let's hope we can enjoy it after the 90 minutes.
Derek, good luck today.
Thank you.
They're all key players, of course they are, but we've picked out two in particular that may well have a major role to play. Firstly, Michael Gardyne. Tell us about Michael Gardyne, Pat.
In the semi-final, I was hugely impressed with him. This is a goal early on in the competition against Stirling, but all the way through against the game against Hibs, against top quality opposition such as Hibs and Celtic, he was fearless, getting on the ball all the time, making tackles in midfield. Energy was superb. Pace is top quality as well. Watch this one. Every time he gets the ball, controls it, turns round, goes at people, runs at people, decent vision as well. I really do rate him highly as a player. I think he's got a lot more to offer in the game, further than just Ross County. Again, I hope he stays a little bit longer here for the team. I think he's a top quality player, and he could make the difference in the entire game, that one player. If Ross County are going to win, he's going to have a great day.
Stephen Craig, son of a famous father, Joe Craig, who played for Celtic, got a cap for Scotland as well. Scored a wonderful goal in the semi-final, obviously, Robbo, but what about his qualities?
But it shows you here, he's very, very quick, Steve. He normally plays through middle. The semi-final he played wide right, and you'll see him coming in off the flank to score this. I mean, this is a marvellous goal. He reads the situation, blistering pace, just leaves the Celtic defenders for dead. It's magnificent, and still has the composure. Okay, you could argue the keeper made it a wee bit, a bit composure not, and he's playing this role that's not suited to him. He's going and closing people down. I worked with him at Livingston, terrific attitude, a really, really nice young man, experienced. He's been about, he's been at Falkirk, Motherwell, Aberdeen, Livingston, and now Ross County again. Massive player with his pace, but he's going to have to do a job defensively today, because we've picked out Swanson and particularly Conway. And if Ross County are going to win this, Stevie Craig will have to do his defensive duties as well.
What, the Livingston connection's pretty strong at Victoria Park, isn't it?
They've got, well, you've got Gary Miller, Boyd, Britton. You've got Stevie Craig there. There's about 5 or 6 of them. Derek Adams played with Livingston. Yeah. There's about 5 or 6 of them there. And as I say, this team are no mugs, and that's the one thing United. We heard the United fans very buoyant, and 3-0, 4-0, no chance. This is going to be a right good cup final.
We all think so. Let's hope we're all right. Let's hear from the United camp then. And Peter Hewson is the United manager, of course. He too has been talking to Jonathan.
Peter, cup final day, Dundee United manager. How does it feel?
It feels great. It'll feel better if we win the cup, so we're not here to try and lose the game in any way. We want to take the cup back to Canada. It's been a long time, but we're prepared. We're looking forward to it, and just hopefully the players can relax and play their normal game.
Yeah, how do you sense the mood amongst the players this morning?
It's been brilliant. It's been brilliant all week, actually, because they're burning for a few weeks now to get into this game because we'd consolidated their league position. So it's again, the players have been dying for it. My only worry was them getting injured each other this week during training, So we've done all the preparations, all the work's been done. The guys know what they've got to do. We know we're going to face an excellent side in Ross County because they'll come at us. But at the same time, we've got good quality as well in it. And one thing for sure is we work hard and try and win the match.
I know third place in the SPL was assured, Peter, but last 4 SPL games without a win. Is that a worry for you going into this game?
Absolutely not. When you look at the changes I made a lot of changes during that period and gave guys who are not even on the bench today opportunities to try and impress. One thing I would say is that the games we lost was against Celtic and Rangers, which they were better than us in a day, simple as that. And we had a weak inside out, so I have no worries about our team today. This is the same bunch of lads who've got us into third place, 9 points clear, and finishing the league in the highest position for many, many years. So they deserve this opportunity, and I'm sure they can do the job.
Peter, what sort of game do you think we're going to see out there on the Hampden pitch today?
I'll be honest and say I think it'll be open-ended. I think Ross County will come out the traps and they'll try and do what they did to Celtic, what they did to Hibs, because we've watched the DVDs. But one thing for sure is we have to get better than we did the way we started against Wraith Rovers, because it took us about 20 minutes to get into the game. But we've experienced here before now, and we're looking forward to it. And I'm sure you can expect the United side certainly going out all out to attack with a couple of strikers up there, and that's the only way we know. We're at our best when we attack, and hopefully today we can get one more goal in Ross County.
Oh, Peter, good luck today.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
I've also picked out a couple of United players who may have an important role to play this afternoon. Kevin, you broke through as a young striker at United. What do you rate of David Goodwillie?
I'm a massive admirer of this kid, you know, because being this sort of similar style of player, running channels, but the guy's got a trick as well, you know, and for one so young, you know, it's just, you see it, I mean, he's just gliding past people. And the thing about him is he's adding goals as well. We know he's a cocky, arrogant young guy. He's trying to take his off-field antics and put them on-field now. And if he does that, I think he's got a fantastic future ahead of him.
Yeah, took this one very well in the semi-final, didn't he?
Oh, it's a great finish, you know. Dummying the goalkeeper first and foremost, but then you get a tight angle. It's absolutely fantastic just to roll it in and have the nonchalance to do it as well.
Yeah, still just 21 years old, young player of the year in Scotland this year. In the middle of the park, we've talked about how strong United are, John. Morgaro Gomez, he's a lovely player to watch, isn't he?
Yes, and again, a lad who's come from Cowdenbeath originally. You know, he's come through the ranks, and you know, most of his work is the hard stuff. He likes to go and win the ball and pass and sit. But Pat and I were talking earlier about this. He's added goals to his games now. You see that? He was clearing at the edge of the box. He comes up here, a terrible miss off the post, but he's in to knock it in. And this is the difference between him now. He can get forward. In the past, United would sit Gomez and Bob in there, but now they're getting forward, they're getting into the box, they're scoring goals, they're creating chances. And you can't ask for any more than that. And they've become a really, really good partnership. Absolutely. And there's, you know, again, not the greatest strike, but it's in. And he's in the right areas, does the right things, does it simple, but a hugely effective cog of the Dundee United machine.
I suppose it's always the way of it that we tend to talk about midfields and front players in these previews, Pat, but you can't obviously underestimate the job that the United defence, both defences, have done this season. United are strong at the back.
They are, particularly central defensive areas have been very strong, and also physically, we've chatted about that already. They all have a great physical presence. To be honest, in an odd way, the two central defenders maybe aren't the biggest worry or fear, because they'll take care of Barrowman, but more to the point, Barrowman will basically keep them to control. They won't let them run off them, etc., which I think allows a little bit more space in the midfield for the Ross County players. They play basically 5 guys in there trying to get forward. And I think, John, you were kind of alluding to it just a little bit before. Looking at the two systems, the way the players are set out, I'm a little bit more heartened for Ross County now. I think the way it's set out, I just get a feeling it'll be hard for Conway and Swanson to get behind, you know, and get good positions. I mean, they're good players and they may well do it. I just get a feeling the way it's set up just now looks pretty good for Ross County.
Interesting. Gary Kenneth, we remember, came here in 2005, Kevin, as a 17-year-old, to taking on a very strong Celtic side, a real baptism of fire, and the game passed him by a little bit that day. He's matured into a much better player now, hasn't he?
Oh, certainly, and he'll have matured with the experience as well. You know, for every cup final, semi-finals you get to, for every game you play in the SPL, your experience grows, and he has, and he's starting to show that now, getting called up to the Scotland squad. You know, a future international in there. He's just got to keep performing. It's a big day for him. It'll be a tough day. And you're just hoping that he can keep everything together and show that newly bound experience he has.
Good man alongside him though, Robbo, obviously, and Andy Webster. His last game for the club before he heads back to Ibrox.
I think he's a terrific player. I was fortunate enough to work with him at Hearts, and first-class professional, very focused. He had a horrendous time with injuries when he went down to England. Struggled again when he come back to Rangers to get fitness. Come to United, and it shows you something of his quality that he's been named the club captain. He was right up there for the Player of the Year, possibly could have won it, in my opinion. Fantastic leader, and again, he'll want to win this. He'll want to go and lift that trophy and leave a lasting legacy of his time at United.
Yeah, it does say a lot for an on-loan player to be the club captain and a major figure in the dressing room.
Exactly, and again, to me, it's just another wonderful side story of such a wonderful day. Webster going possibly his last game, and more importantly, Ross County could be in Europe if they win the cup.
Yes, yeah, it's an astonishing thought, isn't it? We're just looking at these wonderful pictures out in the Hampden pitch, the 125th playing of the Scottish Cup tournament, parade of past winners. It's a historic occasion, and Ross County need to win the cup to play in the Europa. United are in Europe anyway. Motherwell, of course, have got an interest here, Pat, haven't they? Because they, I suppose, are supporting United today.
They'll be keeping it very close eye on all the Fir Park fans. I was trying to figure out what those flags were. That's the colour of the teams that's won every year of the 125 years, because I realised it was mostly green and white then blue and white. But you're going to get a different one now. You may get a blue and white one this afternoon. But you have even Motherwell fans. But it's not just going to be Motherwell fans and the fact that they think they might get European football like this. I think every fan of Scottish football will be interested in this one today, because usually you're either, as they say, Celtic or Rangers minded in most parts of Scotland, in the large parts of Scotland. There's none of that here today. And the whole of Scotland can go and sit and watch it and enjoy a fantastic game of football. And I think it's really split down the middle. OK, the underdogs.
There's Lorraine writing Monday morning script.
She's part of the reason why a lot of people support Dundee United. Everybody loves her. I've never met a human being who doesn't adore her. And you don't want to see her crying at the end of this game. So
I think she will be crying, Pat. Win or lose, I think she will be crying because the tears will be there.
One way or the other.
Win, and that's what's great. We were talking about it before, that the people come in the streets. This is the one day of the year you can, in Glasgow anyway, you can get dressed up and wear the most outrageous stuff and get away with it. That's what cup final is.
And then outrageous, was it, wearing the gear? I mean, you've got to go to the World Cup in Holland. You know what I mean? The orange, the land of the orange. And it's the exact same thing. So I think Dundee United have had a look in.
See, if you're a neutral today, who are you supporting today? I'm telling you, it's such a tough call. Because Dundee United are a very popular team. They're playing a lot of really good football. People love to see the fact that they've kept on getting back here after winning very few of their opportunities they've finally got here. But on the other hand, for goodness sake, Ross County, it's the fairy tale. So in the end, it is fabulous that people will sit and watching here. A lot of people will be sitting watching thinking they want either A or B, and after 10 minutes they might change their mind.
It's a lovely atmosphere, of course it is, and I know that under one of those tangerine wigs is the former Scotland rugby captain Andy Nicholl, because I got a text from Andy this morning. Andy going back to his Dundee roots, and he's there with all the hordes in tangerine, looking forward to at last getting another Scottish Cup win. It's, as we've said so many times, it's just a wonderful story about these two clubs bringing so many fans to Hampden for the Cup final. Here's a thought for you. How about a defender scoring today? I was looking back. There's a remarkable number of defenders have scored in recent cup finals. Jim Thompson, Queen of the South. Jean-Jo Perrier Doumbé for Celtic got the winner. Amaruso, Skerla, McNamara for Celtic, Tony Vidma. They've all scored in cup finals.
Two outstanding candidates.
Yeah, go on.
I think Webster,
Kenneth, the size of them again.
But I would also suggest Morrison.
Yeah.
Morrison with his left foot from set plays. Another thing, he's got a cannon of a shot. We saw him curling in a couple there. But trust me, this boy's got an absolute cannon in his left foot. So it's all set up. It's a wonderful part of the atmosphere. It's a feel-good factor about the day. Just let's hope that the match lives up to that.
I wonder if what you're saying, Dougie, there is actually more importance than that than just a fluke. Because everybody knows the job marking up the forwards. So they get very little space. So the reason why so many defenders come up and score is because they're the ones you've not considered marking.
Sure.
Particularly maybe coming from open play. So maybe that's a good reason why you actually do get the defenders scoring cup finals.
Give us a player's view of how you're feeling at the moment, Kevin. Down underneath us in the dressing rooms, you're aware of the buzz outside. It's kind of muted, and you know what's at stake. The butterflies are going. You can't wait to get out, or maybe you don't want to get out. I mean, what is it really like?
Oh, you just want to get out. You know, you've done the warm up. You've been back in the dressing room again. You sat down and you're just going over the tactics. You're going over your corners, your free kicks, your set plays, what you have to do, and then it's just pure concentration now. Getting yourself ready. Putting your shin pads on, whatever, just getting yourself ready to that final bit.
These guys have been dreaming about this for 5 weeks now.
Yeah.
And I'll guarantee you that all the forwards, and maybe some of the defenders, will have been lying in their beds last night dreaming of how they're going to score the winning goal in the Scottish Cup final. And as Kevin says, you just want to get on that part now and get on with it.
I have to say, one of the things I always had in a dressing room in a big game like this, I want to look around the rest of my players to see if they all felt the way I did. I know I can win this. I don't care who I'm playing against, don't care who's out there. And I want to look around, and if I see in the eyes of one or two of them that they don't believe, I'm straight over there and having a word with them. And I wasn't a shouter or a baller in the dressing room, but you look around and look for the body language, and anyone, you understand nerves. A lot of guys have nerves, but there's something else when you see a kind of an empty look in some players' eyes. You want 10 guys alongside you that have got the same faith as you've got before this sort of game. So that's it. You're not only looking after yourself, you're hopefully looking after others too.
Yeah. Do you listen to what the manager says? Do you actually hear him at this point, Rubble?
Vaguely, yeah. You're trying to focus and get in your zone and get yourself ready to go out there and be ready for the first whistle. So you are kind of listening, but all the talking's been done by now.
Yeah,
all
there's nothing left to say, really, is there?
All you do, you're there, you just want onto that pitch now.
We wish Dougie MacDonald well, our cup final referee, one of the best in the country, and I'm sure Dougie himself will hope that he's just not even noticed this afternoon and everything goes smoothly. It's one of the great days in the careers and the lives of all these players. It's a bit of a special cup final, this one, not just because it's the 125th, but just because of the nature of the two teams and the huge crowds they have brought here. And nice to see United allowing Lee Wilkie to lead the team out, because, again, as an ex-player, Kevin, your heart breaks for the big man. 29 years old, career's over.
Oh, yeah, it does go out to people like that, but it's great for United to do that for him.
Here they come then. It's the Active Nations Scottish Cup final. It's Ross County against Dundee United. Let's rejoin Craig Patterson and Paul Mitchell.
The Active Nations Scottish Cup, the grandest of all cup competitions, is showing no signs of age. Now in its 125th year, its attraction, its allure as strong as ever. And best wishes to both sides as an expected Hampden Park welcomes the team in some style. 185 miles to Hampden from Victoria Park in Dingwall. What a journey through Maryborough onto Aviemore, the A9 past Kingutty and Newtonmore, Pitlochry onto Perth, then Stirling, before finding the A80 to Glasgow. The road almost as long as the footballing highway taken by the team who started their campaign almost 6 months ago at the end of November against Berwick Rangers. For Dundee United, their journey shorter in terms of travel and of football, but any side who recovers from 3-1 down in the second half at Ibrox against the holders has won their way to the final the hard way. A third consecutive Scottish Cup final with both sides managed by Scots. Derek Adams indeed could still be playing as the chairman are introduced to the sides. Derek Adams, 34 years old. He swapped the colours of the strip for the cup final suits. Stephen Thompson and Dave Segal, the chairman of the clubs, and nervous moments for both. Would have been some moment for Peter Houston to lead his side out of Hampden in a cup final, something he never had the chance to do as a player, but the measure of the man shown by the offer to allow Lee Wilkie that honour. And there is Lee Wilkie, 11 caps for his country, 94 appearances for Dundee United. His last Dundee United goal came against Ross County in September, a club he played twice for on loan during his brief career. Well, Hampden Park looks absolutely tremendous. 13 years since no Old Firm team or either from Edinburgh or Glasgow has graced the Scottish Cup final. We don't get too many without the Old Firm. There were plenty in the early days, just 7 now in the last 50 years. Neither half of the Old Firm has been involved. It's Dundee United who lead the fair play handshake down the line. Ross County were thwarted in their hopes of a sunshine preparation in Marbella, while Dundee United trained at Tannadice rather than St Andrews. A 50th match of a long season for Ross County. They've not played for a fortnight, but no surprise in the team, Craig.
Yeah, Ross County will adopt an adventurous 4-3-3. The Highlanders have scored 24 goals in the Cup so far, and with Stephen Craig, Michael Gardine and Andy Borman up front, they're looking to add to that total this afternoon.
Well, Dundee United finished the season by giving plenty of players a run out back to big business today. Paul Dixon and Dallin Dodds miss out through injury. You got a feel for them. Michael Kovacevic recovers from a hamstring injury to play, and Gary Kenneth is in.
Yeah, it's a familiar 4-4-2 for Dundee United. In midfield, Danny Swanson and Craig Conway will provide the width, while up front, Peter Houston has opted for pace and strength with David Goodwillie alongside John Daly.
It's even the same substitutes for Ross County as got past Celtic in the semi-final for Dundee United. Danny Caramatri could be the man to come off the bench and make a big impact here this afternoon. Well, as Craig mentioned, Ross County have rattled the goals in the Scottish Cup, 24-6. A surprise perhaps then that Andy Barrowman, the top goal scorer, hasn't found the net for them. He would like that to change here this afternoon. Derek Adams looking on. Craig Brewster alongside him. Here is Andrew Barrowman. Signed for Inverness Cali Thistle by Craig Brewster. He hopes to emulate his assistant boss today with a winning goal in a cup final. 16 different nationalities have scored in the Scottish Cup final in the last 10 years. A surprise perhaps an Irishman, not amongst them. John Daly, who missed the 3 months of the season, is hoping to get in on the act this afternoon. Dougie MacDonald is our referee. He was a standing referee in the League Challenge Cup against Alloa for Ross County on their first match of the season. He's no stand-in, he's the real deal here for the Active Nations Scottish Cup final, a fourth major final, and he gets it underway. On to Morrison, who plays it forwards. Webster sends it out wide onto Kovacevic. Andy Webster got caught late though. And that is a free kick for Dundee United, the last game of their centenary season. Can they emulate the old firm in winning it in their centenary year? Solid challenge from Richard Britton. That was a sign of the semi-final. He was terrific, gave Celtic not a moment's peace.
I think that's what Ross County have got to do. They've got to raise the pace, get up to the level they played against Celtic, and hope it works again. They know Dundee United have quality. They're going to try and knock them off their stride in the early part of the game.
Scott tries to bring the ball away, won well by Boabin for Dundee United. Looks long by Dillon. Taken down by Conway, but the flag on the far side, Tom Murphy and Francis Andrews, our assistants. Francis Andrews raising the flag on that occasion. Our fourth official this afternoon is Willie Collum. Peter Houston used to say, no luck as a player in this competition. Will it change as a manager?
Well, he's had a sensational start to management. The Ibrox result, you know, was dreadful, but he kept going. He's had a bit of luck along the way. You know, the handball against Partick Thistle, but you get that on the run to cup finals. And now, after finishing third, what an end to the season, and he'd have to be named manager, surely.
As forwards, Boyd does well against Daly. Conway chips the ball back through. Michael McGovern will come and gallop. Long from McGovern on the bench for the 2007 Scottish Cup final for Celtic against Dunfermline. Daly gets the better of Miller, breaks out wide onto Conway. Conway, Craig was with him, tries to go past him and also past Boyd. And the man they call the Ginger Pelly knocks it out of play.
Well, he did well, because initially I thought Craig was going to get back and make the challenge. He stumbled, lost his footing, and Scott Boyd got there and decided rightly just get the ball out of play, but it's going to come straight back in that box.
Gary Kenneth with the long throw. Gomez back onto Kenneth. Snapped inside, so Farrell crossover. And that's Kenny with a header away by Dillon. Good Willie felt he took a battering there. Gary Kenneth just trying to let that run out of play. The attention from Martin Scott, or as he's known to everybody, Jimmy Scott.
Yeah, it's strange when you see it in the programme, you see it in the team sheet, and nobody uses the name. So I think for this afternoon, he's going to be Jimmy.
It's Daly, it'll tug on Miller. Britton on to Craig. Dragged it away well. Caught late by Gomez. Dillon sends a long Conway will chase, the goalkeeper taking no chances. Gary Kenneth away. And Richard Britton lifts it on wide. Scott Morrison. Goes down very quickly indeed by Gomez, one of the four survivors from the League Cup final side from 2008. Kenneth, Blaman and Kovacevic all started that day too. Dillon and Conway started on the bench.
First chance for Ross County to get men in the box. Both centre backs going forward. Mentioned before the game, felt strength. The edge was definitely with Dundee United, but there's some decent talent in there. Boyd, Kerry, both up for this one.
Richard Britton delivers, goalkeeper stays where he is, and just overcooked slightly. No takers.
It's actually difficult against Dundee United. You try to pick out a weak area, but the two centre backs, big and strong. The two full backs, exactly the same. Dillon, Kovacevic could both play centre back. They're big enough, very difficult to win high balls against a Dundee United defence.
Looking for Daly again. Oh, won by Miller. Gomez under pressure. Scott back inside. Tigers wanted too long. Dillon gives the ball back away. On to Scott, but Dundee United pick up once more. The referee gives the free kick. Danny Swanson is being fouled all the way. The nudges on the back, too much for the referee to ignore.
Yeah, the referee's quite right. Allow a couple of seconds, see if he gets the advantage and gets away. If he doesn't, bring it back and give the original offence.
Dillon on to Gomez. Dillon once more. Conway out wide left, that's out of play. The flag of Tom Murphy is lifted. No real pattern to the match, still early.
Players, it's a big build-up to a Scottish Cup final. You come here early, you've got the the meet and greet before. The players just want to get out there, get running, get the nerves away, get the adrenaline going, and get it down to business. But the early part of the game often just a little bit scrappy.
Andy Barrowman might have the better of Gary Kenneth here. Webster comes across. Kenneth, dogged determination in the end. He calls for the throw. He'll be disappointed.
Gary Kenneth, he's had a couple of, they see the arm coming up a couple of times on the back of the player. There's another one that a lot of referees may just have penalised, but definitely looked like a throw to Ross County.
Been taken by Gary Miller, never present in the Scottish Cup this season. And he gets it back. Takes it away from Gomez. Take down the line and out of play again. Not a bad touch by the manager either. It's Keddy. Long it goes, too long. And an easy take for the goalkeeper.
Both teams early in the game, going back to front just a little bit too early and a little bit too often. Dundee United, Gomez and Boabin have been terrific. Get them involved, and Richard Britton, who was sensational in the semi-final against Celtic, they can't get on the ball. These are the guys you need with the ball at their feet, dictating play.
Kovacevic. Pass it infield onto Scott. Nice touch. Viger's battling for it. They'll lose out to Swanson. Swanson rides the challenge, plays it through. Dundee United felt they were offside, so Swanson continues to go himself. Really strong play from Danny Swanson.
Terrific play, and he just kept going. And the good thing is, the strike pair realised they were offside, didn't go after the ball. The referee didn't blow, and it meant Dundee United kept possession.
Gary Kenneth on throwing duty. His first Scottish Cup final back in 2005, his 14th match for Dundee United. Now clocks up number 128. On throw. Looking for Webster. Kovacevic. There's Barrowman right behind him. Dillon lifts it long, Morrison away. Waggers onto Gardine, he's got plenty of pace and plenty of confidence. And Kovacevic felt he got caught out there, but I'll tell you what, I think he got away lightly.
Yeah, he did well. Dundee United just slightly slow in getting men back. Gary Kenneth was still playing in the right wing area. Sean Dillon had tucked in, but a chance for Ross County on the break.
Boyd, that'll be intercepted by Gomez. Conway. Really rattled that. David Goodwillie had no chance of keeping it in.
Oh, he did well to get a touch, and I think Conway was looking to fire the ball down the line for Goodwillie to run onto it. Goodwillie was shown to feet, wanting the ball in, just keep possession, but at the moment, either team really getting the ball down and playing.
Barrowman, challenged by Dillon. Not a natural right fullback, it's a natural right fullback, not a natural left back. Sean Dillon, but he's very comfortable there.
Yeah, defensively great. What you lose is going forward. If the ball's on his left foot, his passing and his crossing is not going to be the standard it would be down the other side.
Conway forward again, just where we're hitting it. Daly kept it in well. Boyd on to Miller. Conway challenges again. Daly trying to block, breaks inside. Keddy. Good shouting too from the goalkeeper, just telling Alex Keddy, you don't have time, let's get rid of it.
Yeah, when you don't know, you picked up the ball quick, you don't know what's about you. It's great if the goalkeeper tells you, makes your mind up quick. A decent shout, just get the ball clear.
Gomez leaves the ball behind. Craig went on the run. Gary Kenneth has spotted the run. Cooked it. Absolute perfection for Swanson. Swanson comes inside, goes down too easily. Was never going to be given. Alex Kenny stood his ground. Scott Morrison tries to get away from Gomez. Gomez gets the touch.
Yeah, not a penalty for me. Thought the referee got it spot on. Danny Swanson, you flick the ball and then just run straight at the defender. There's nowhere he can go. He's standing still. He's not moved in towards you. You can't jump into him and then expect to get the free kick.
To be fair, he tried.
Well, there's plenty people try.
And like any good forward player, a little inquest with the referee to find out why you didn't get the penalty.
Well, the next thing you do is, because you don't get this, you try and pressure the referee anyway. So that the next time is a 50-50. He figures, I've denied them one, do I have to give them this one?
He did have a man down. Prince Bohaman is slow to get back to his feet. As Ross County get the throw. Andy Webster's taken an awkward bounce. He had to be quick. Bannerman right on his shoulder. And Kovacevic couldn't make a clearance. To Vargas. Vargas gives the ball away. Swanson. Dundee United missing it in midfield a lot.
That surprises me. I thought they, as the SPL side, they would want to show composure first. Ask the question of Ross County, can you reproduce the form you showed against Hibs and Celtic? Because we can play, but at the moment, as I say, when you've got Blaban and Gomez in there, allow them to play, but they can't get a touch.
Gomez with a header down onto Good Willie. Is played at Hampden Park. Nation Scottish Cup final. And two sides have really worked so hard to get here. They've been pressed on the way. And the United starting to run in Glasgow. The 2-0 win at Bonnet Thistle. Willie tries to go through, can't do so. Barrowman drops back, picks up. Britton to the near side. Stephen Craig felt he couldn't get there. I thought he was in the right position.
Looked like it when the ball was first struck, but just gained a bit of pace and he realised he wasn't going to catch it. But good spot from Richard Britton.
Daly wins the header on to Good Willie. Scott Boyd in behind. Again, Conway thinks he was pushed. There was no way past, and again, referee quite right. Throw in now to Ross County.
It's been a feature of Dougie McDonald. The recent games I've watched them. He's going to allow physical contact, and I think it makes for a better game. Players soon realise we're not going to get free kicks for anything, and the game does play at a real good pace.
Prince Mohammed all the way back on Andy Webster. Chased down by Scott. Webster sends it long. Shoot from the goalkeeper. Again, Dundee United selecting route one. That's the quickest way from A to B, and it's not impressive.
No, and if you're going to play that ball, get it down in the corners. You know, David Goodwillie, John Daly chasing defenders. You might get a throw, you might get a corner. Up and down the middle, easy for defenders, and as often as not, ends up with the goalkeeper.
Ross County looking to become the 24th winners of the Scottish Cup. And the United have achieved it just once. Memorable match in 1994, but they've had so much hurt starting from the first final back in 1974 when they lost 3-0 to Celtic. It's been many a Hampden heartache for Tangerine and Black. Gary Kenneth chose the wrong option, straight at Craig. Here comes Scott. And fouled. Gomez coming right across him. And Morgana Gomez gets slightly concerned at the studs of Jimmy Scott there.
Yeah, you can see Jimmy Scott gets there first. Margara Gomez after that just catches him. Down they go, and the referee felt that Scott's route to goal had been impeded. That's why it's the free kick.
Vigors on to Morrison. 25-year-old launches it long. Lead away by Dillon. Boyd got a touch on it. Daly helps to clear. Richard Britton. Kovacevic away. Buaman gives possession away again. Morrison sends the ball wide. Good play by Keddy. Keddy sends it across. Craig needs to go back. A better cross. And Dundee United were in trouble there. The adrenaline might just be kicking in a bit much.
Terrific skill from Alec Keddy to turn Mikhail Kovacevic, who's gone down holding his shoulder, I think.
Vigors with a touch back on to McGovern. Play continues. Kovacevic continues to be down. Is that right back position jinxed? There's a problem there at full-back, of course. In the semi-final, Paul Dixon played at left-back. Is the right-back position jinxed today? Andrew Barrowman, he started well.
Yeah, well, he offers a target, you know, get the ball up and then play off him. At the moment, United can't really do that, but neither side are on top. It's an awkward one because Kovacevic, as I say, Alec Keddy turned him. He's fallen awkwardly. He's put his arm down to break the fall, and obviously he's done a bit of damage.
Jeff Park is on. The Swiss just explaining to him what the problem is. He'll take care of that. Even better when you've got a former player as your physio. It does help.
Well, it's not physio from the rugby. They just shove that back in and send you back out. Broken fingers, there you go, snap back in place. What's your problem?
Richard Britton kept the ball in. Lavin under severe pressure. Side on to Dillon again. Long, but a better one down the channel. Good Willie to chase. Daly now making his way into the box. Good Willie, the step overs. If you're going to do it, take the ball. Gardine loses out. Gomez pushes it out wide. It's a check. Second chance for Good Willie. Headed high in the air by Gary Miller. Not cleared yet. That's nice play from Jimmy Scott. Little step over and away.
Terrific defending by Gary Miller at the back post. John Daly had pulled away. I thought a decent ball in. Daly's good in the air, but Miller took up a terrific position.
Gary Kenneth started all 4 matches up to the semi-final. Didn't feature in that. Daly loses out to Boyd. Gomez. Now Dillon. The keeper was tempted, but it's going to spin away. Gary Miller trying to shield it out. Conway with a push. Not started the game well, to be fair to him. Craig Conway trying very, very hard, but not started well.
Not difficult to tell, you know. I mean, he's going for the ball. Gary Miller just wants to shepherd it out, and well, there's not a great deal in that. Dougie McDonald felt there was a shove there. Can't for the life of me see it.
Taken charge of Dundee United 7 times this season. Dougie McDonald, they're unbeaten in all 7 matches. Mind you, to be fair, they only lost 10 games in 46 this season. Dillon inside. Britton. Morrison has to get there. He's very quick, very tidy as well. On to Keddy. Keddy through. On to Bannerman. Chance for Ross Kennedy. Blocked by Kenneth. And away by Webster. Swanson robbed. And Gardine goes down. Free kick.
Decent link-up play, maybe for the first time from Ross County in the final third, but the shot was well blocked by Gary Kenneth. But that's what Ross County have got to do: get the ball down and play to feet.
Who's the happier manager?
I think Derek Adams. You know, you come here as the underdogs, you want to get through the first 10 or 15 minutes unscathed, hope your players, you know, any kind of nerves have gone now and they can get down to playing. So I think he'll be the happier of the two.
Richard Britton hooks the ball in. Andy Webster with a header away. Should be a Ross County ball. Scott Boyd, the winner in the replay against Hibs. His contribution to the goal tally in the campaign. What a winner it was too. Gary Miller. And this stays on his line. Kovacevic happy to sweep the ball clear. Vigors onto Gardine. Kovacevic giving Gardine any space.
Keeps the forward and heading out of play from Scott Morrison. Still no pattern to the game at all. You know, you're looking for somebody out there just to get the ball down and start to dictate, but hasn't happened. Swanson sends it down. Alex Keddy returned with real interest, but out of play. I've seen a lot of Dundee United this season. I'm not sure I've seen them start so cautiously. No, it's a big game. Players are nervous. They know what it means to the club and the fans. It also helps them into European football at a later stage. There's so much in the game for them that at the moment, you know, the good players just aren't getting on the ball. Opportunity now for Dundee United. They've won the free kick. Michael Gardine from Dundee is actually a fan of the dark blue, so he's got plenty of incentive to do well today. Andy Webster, goal scorer in the semi-final. Conway takes his time. Hits it high. Goalkeeper came looking for it. Daly. Down onto Kenneth. Boyd comes outside the box. Kenneth, I think, tried the back heel. Wagner's got the touch. Boyd played it against Kenneth. Football playing centre half, so whatever next. Lovely play. Conway. Great shimmy again. Out wide onto Good Willie. Rode the challenge, taken down. Well, Gary Miller will be spoken to by the referee. In fact, I think the yellow card is going to come out here. That was clever play from David Goodwill. He knew what was coming. His feet were too quick. Just moves the ball, takes a knock. I'm not sure how serious the collision was, but Gary Miller knows the penalty for going to ground and not making contact with the ball, and certainly making contact with the player. But totally committed. The ball's gone, and that is a yellow card. Yeah, bad tackle. Lovely touch from Goodwill. Knew what was coming. Yeah, got his feet off the ground. That way he doesn't get hurt. So Gary Miller, yellow carded, former Langston player. Chip ball in, Gary Kenneth! Well, there's plenty of targets for Dundee United. It's hard for Ross County to cover them all. Gary Kenneth up well here. It's a chance though. You know, he gets up there. It's not a free header. He's under a bit of pressure, but you've got to look to hit target. You see the manager's reaction. He expects Gary Kenneth from there to at least work the goalkeeper. Well, just one goal this term. Gary Kenneth came against Hamilton back in October. What a way that would have been to double your tally for the season. Defensive header now from Kenneth. Isn't great by Morrison. Conway blasted it with Britain. Barrowman just eased away by Gary Kenneth. In fairness, no chance for Conway. Well, in terms of possession, it doesn't come more even than that. That just about sums up the game. Nothing between the teams. Don't want to jinx it, but there never has been a 0-0 between the sides. They've played 4 times in the League Cup. See, don't want to jinx things. Gomez sends it forward. Boyd. Abbott tries to get in there. Daly too. Gomez again. Made it to Ross County under great pressure, but emerging with the ball. Vigers onto Britain. Back again onto Vigers. Can't drag it away from Gomez. Down with a touch. Boabin in there. Kovacevic sends it long. And again, fairly easy for Michael McGovern. It's really scrappy. You know, it's a battle in there. But, you know, you're looking at the ball again, breaking in midfield. Ross County have it, can't keep possession. Dundee United get it back, can't keep possession. And eventually somebody just launches it long. It's either out the plate or through the goalkeeper. Webster making sure Andrew Barrowman couldn't get anywhere near that. Yeah, fair to say it's not quite lived up to expectation yet. No, we did expect, you know, Ross County, they set a standard against Celtic. We were hoping they'd get somewhere near there. And Dundee United, fantastic season, 3rd place, qualified for Europe at a canter, and we expect more of them. Long from Gary Kenneth. Boyd with a header away. Britain flicks it on. Look past Swanson. Vigers. Loses out to Gomez. It's done from the Frenchman, but again, Vigers
really going after it. The referee had to make the call one way or the other. Gomez felt he was being a little bit harassed there by Scott Morrison, but it's a free kick, and Dougie McDonald just calm it all down.
I think the referee feels that Margara Gomez eventually ends up on top of the ball, and now you can't really have a kick at it for fear of kicking the player, and he's got to blow the whistle and give the decision one way or another.
He had the ball jammed between his feet as well at one point. Kenneth wins the header. Well, Dillon, it's knocking out of play. He's a cup winner in Ireland. He's won the Irish equivalent of the FA Cup in Longford Town on a couple of occasions on the big stage of Lansdowne Road. Gary Miller inside, 1-2. Jimmy Scott caught fair and square by Gomez. Free kick.
Interesting to see if Ross County just have something up their sleeve here. They don't have an advantage in height, so definite free kick, but now you're looking for something off the training ground. We mentioned the height at the back for Dundee United, very difficult to break down. I just wonder if they've got some master plan to get the ball into feet or get somebody clear in a wide area.
Vargas stands over the ball. 22-year-old floats it across. Kovacevic tries to find it, loses. Conway moves away from Gardine. Spence sent it long. The runner is Good Willie. Goalkeeper again. Starts just a few yards outside his box. That way he can do precisely that, either play through it or drop back as we saw in Ghana.
Yeah, the ball's too straight again. Get it towards the corner. Make defenders go back and defend, or the goalkeeper come out at an angle where he's going to give you a throw.
It's Barban fouling that time. And the skipper Richard Britton being more than happy. Now his side have started. Just delaying it for a moment for the run of Alex Keddy.
He was the target the last time. He did win the ball.
He's a target again. And again, just not doing enough. Time Alex Keddy. Useful player to have, contributed 10 goals in his years at Ross County.
Yeah, well, he gets in the back post, you know, and he almost got the flick on there. The good thing they are doing, Ross County, is they're keeping the ball away from Kenneth and Webster. They're trying to go into areas, but, you know, Daly, Dillon, Kovacevic, it's hard to find space.
Kenneth under pressure. Scott moving through. Kenneth recovered well. Boabin. Kovacevic onto Swanson. Kovacevic long. Keddy with the header away. Dundee United at least gained some ground.
Yeah, that's about it. You know, play territory, get in the opposition half. If there's going to be mistakes, let them make them.
Kenneth sends it long. John Daly does well, uses his strength. Daly across, Good Willie tried to get there. It was Boyd with the clearance for Ross County. Again, it's just hit long, no chance for Barrow. Just turns around and says, come on, I can't do anything with that.
Yeah, first things first, though, terrific defending Scott Boyd. John Daly does well in the corner, gets the ball in a dangerous area. David Goodwillie goes after it, but wasn't given an inch by his marker.
Gary Kenneth almost ran into trouble, and that was the problem. He had to move very quickly indeed. In terms of attempts on goal, almost half an hour place, Dundee United with a Gary Kenneth header after 22 minutes.
And not a thing on target. No, there's been a lot of endeavour out there, just it's the quality that's missing. We know it's there, but hopefully shortly it will start to show itself.
Thomas into Swanson. Couldn't feed Good Willie that time. Webster with the angle pass, flag stays down. Conway takes it at the second attempt. Conway taking the scenic route. Daly's made a great run, he moved away well. The ball just didn't have enough pace. Good play from the striker.
It's a poor ball from Conway. He looks up, he sees John Daly, he's pulled off the back of the defender, and just not enough juice on the final pass.
Flag will come up against Andrew Barrowman. On loan from Inverness, Cali Thistle. There's Highland connection throughout side as well, but many Cali Thistle fans interestingly supporting their near neighbours. That doesn't happen in too many parts of the country.
Probably nowhere else. I can think of very few areas where local rivals will cheer on the opposition if they're in a position like this, but good on them for it.
Morrison brings it down. Half an hour played at Hampden Park. Gardine comes up to Kovacevic. Just brushed it off the socks of the little striker. Kovacevic gentle with the throw. Emerson Boaban. Split through onto Good Willie. Knocked into the face of Morrison. Kenneth looking for Conway. Internationalist keeps the ball in play. Dylan called for it, the ball was swung into the middle. And Boyd again with the diving header away.
It's so much better for United when they do hit the corners. Great ball from Gary Kenneth. Gives Craig Conway a chance to get the ball under control and get some kind of ball into the box.
Dylan on to Conway. Moved away from Craig. Chipped it through on the angle, looking for Dylan. Dylan's strong, but Miller came back. Read the situation, and Britain strokes it up to the halfway line. Again, no chance for Barrowman. Andy Webster sends it long. And away it goes. Is Andrew Barrowman too isolated? I mean, 4-3-3 is what we were told. Is it almost 4-5-1?
At the minute you lose the ball, it becomes 4-5-1, and if you don't have good possession, you can't get up and support. And Andy Barrowman has never had the ball into feet when he can hold it, and all of a sudden you can get Stephen Craig and you can get Michael Gardine forward. Both those guys have spent more time in reverse, so for the majority of the first half, it has been 4-5-1.
Barrowman with a flick comes through onto Dusan Perez, named in the Slovakian World Cup squad, the provisional 29. Jan Nucha will be the number 1, but the 3 goalkeepers, of which Pernas is one, just have 5 caps between them. It's an impressive performance from him today. Could see him in South Africa. Put through by Vigers. And on to the goalkeeper.
Goalkeepers have seen a lot of the ball without having to make a save. You know, there's been a lot of balls just knocked through that they can pick up and launch forward, or take a touch, bring it out of the box, and once again just launch it forward.
Good Willie fouled by Richard Britton. Good Willie. So David Good Willie moves away. He's the only United player not to be wearing a tie when he came onto the pitch before the game. Just as that sort of rebellious look about him. It's Moaban. Chip forward, John Daly gets free. And again, that's symptomatic of the first half. Gets into good position, can't do anything with it.
Does the right thing, realises he's not going to score, just tries to take the pace off the ball, nod it down into the mixer, but unfortunately straight to the goalkeeper.
Well, we play to finish here this afternoon. No matter what happens, this is the header from John Daly. Nobody there or thereabouts. And Michael McGovern.
I mean, it's a free header, not Lanoy, the Ross County defence, but as I say, tries to just take the pace off the ball, just knock it into an area, hoping somebody will take advantage, but he nods it straight into the arms of Michael McGovern.
Daly tries to get ahead of Craig. Scott battled in there well. Play on, says the referee. Craig sends it down the line. And Gary Kenneth knocks it out of play. Just indicating he would have given the free kick, but he allowed the advantage, allowed play to flow.
Never a bad thing. Communicate with players. If they realise what you've done, they're not going to give you stick for it.
Gary Miller to Stephen Craig. Gomez on to good Willie. Swanson with a chance to run. He's got Daly out wide. Swanson is going to take on Kenny. That's a lovely piece of play. Danny Swanson, Boyd tracking him back. Swanson going all the way. Brilliant slide. Great recovery from Kenny. That could have been one of the great Hampden goals.
Oh, almost brilliant play, Danny Swanson. Decides he's going to do it himself. He's going to trust his pace. Now he's thinking, I know I'm being closed down. I'm going to take on the last man, create a bit of space. Thinks he's got his shot on target. What a challenge. Alex Kerry came from nowhere.
Well, he was skinned initially, wasn't he? But to come all the way back, great belief. Tell you what, that give the rest of the Ross County side great lift.
That's the never say die attitude that got them to the final. That's exactly what you need, and little things like that just do lift everybody in the side.
Scott Morrison away. Tigers being hounded there. Eventually Dundee United pick up. Conway under pressure, tugged, free kick.
Referee right on the spot. Players look up, they were going to complain, but I think quite quickly realised he spotted me. I've not got away with it. Get back and defend.
Boavin on to Conway. Conway on the angle. Gary Kenneth waits for it. Vigers is out watching as Alex Kenny comes across. Nice play from Gary Kenneth. Really good footwork.
Yeah, he did well. He realised he was going nowhere and he decided the best I can do is get a throw or a corner, and because he's down there, saves him a run because he's going to launch it. Aim for Andy Webster every time. I think it's going to be the same again.
Launch long, John Daly, a potential target, bounces through, Gary Miller heads it away. Gomez at the edge of the box, looking for room, gives it off to Boavin. What a noted goal scorer, Prince Boavin, 3 this term, but way over the top.
Poor final effort, but this is poor defending. You cannot allow the box to bounce in the middle of your box. I mean, it's clear they close down quickly, and Boavin has to pull the trigger and can't keep it down, but the original throw, Ross County didn't deal with it.
Miller away, and the offside flag goes up. This was terrific football. I mean, Swanson saw it, he had a man wide, but he really fancied taking on the back two, right down the middle. Boyd held him up, and Kenny with the block. Free kick. Well, Danny Swanson, I think, started the game pretty well. Craig Conway struggling to get into it. And when you are playing out in the wings, sometimes you need the good early touches to get yourself into the match.
Even just a bit of service, you know, get the ball, get you running at defenders, and then you've got him in the back foot, but he seems to be just chasing things. The ball's been lumped forward so many times, he's kind of chasing lost causes.
Boavin off to Swanson, Conway now. Give him the chance on the angle once more. 3 tangerine shirts make their way into the box. Conway twists, turns, delivers. Simple header from Prince Boavin.
Decent play from Craig Conway. Just looking to engineer a bit of space, get the ball in the box. Does that, but it's coming away from the goal. So is Prince Boavin, never going to generate the power required.
Michael Gardine. I think both the quarter-final and the semi-final. Ball back on to Scott. Vigers with Kovacevic. Ian Vigers kicks the ball across. Barrowman wanted it. And away before it could reach him. Good Willie spins the ball away. Swanson. Gardine tracking back. Swanson appreciating the efforts.
All his teammates, Dundee United, trying to make an impression on the match before half-time. Kenny with the header away. Now down away. Gomez on to Kenneth. Kenneth launches it, looking for Good Willie. Michael McGovern. Incoming Gallagher call up to the Northern Ireland full international squads. They'll go to the States, they'll play Turkey and Chile, and he expects to win his first cap, and it's good reward for this season.
Yeah, and I mean, he's been the busier of the two goalkeepers. Dusan Pernas had absolutely nothing to do so far.
Just called upon and no more there by Andy Webster.
Always in control, the big chap.
Boyd chasing back. Had to play it. The Dundee United fans trying to make some noise. No, I think the frustration's showing there, and we apologise. Dillon on to Conway. Conway goes down, was expecting the free kick. Oh, Stephen Craig took him down.
Yeah, I think there's a wee nick here. Just as it goes across, you can see that catches him then. He tries to stay up, to be fair to him, falls on the ball, and the referee rightly gives the free kick. This is a chance for United. They need to get a decent delivery. They've got plenty of targets in there.
Oh, Kenneth and Webster hunting together. Conway curls it in, the goalkeeper will gather. Good take from Michael McGovern, confident take.
He sees the ball too easy. You know, when it comes in at that height, the goalkeeper sees it, he can move into traffic and make a comfortable catch.
Morrison put under pressure, dealt with it well. Garden yelling for the ball from Vigers. Set behind him, Dundee United mop up. Webster on to Good Willie. Back on to Swanson. Daly was calling for it. Swanson seemed to get caught by Morrison.
Just a clash there. Scott Morrison sticks a knee in. He does collide with Danny Swanson, and the referee quick to give the decision, but certainly no question of yellow cards.
One yellow card in the match so far. 22 minutes. In for Gary Miller of Ross County. Good Willie trying to gather. Ross County hadn't played for a fortnight. Of course, Division 1 finished early. Dundee United are just one win in 5 after the split. Both teams just ring rusty.
Possibly, you know, United left a lot of the big guns out in the game against Hibs. Ross County will be training, looking for little bounce games to keep them sharp, but certainly neither team has looked at their best today.
Daly was onside, on to Swanson. Boyd comes across to make the challenge. It's taken a while, finally got a corner.
And it's another opportunity. It's clever play with John Daly. Gets free, just knocks the ball back, and then you can see there's nobody in the middle. Somebody's trying to make up ground at the far post, Miguel Kovacevic, but I think the corner was a decent result for United.
So the first of the match. Conway swings it in, shouts it away. The ball rattles the post. Well, there was pushing going on. Well, again, we talked about the height of Dundee United and the problems it causes, and Andy Webster was up.
I think it's because it's the goalkeeper. You can see he can't get free there. David Goodwillie just standing right in his road. Now, David Goodwillie's going to say, well, I'm allowed to stand there. He's got to get by me, but, you know, I don't have to get out the road. It's one of these contentious ones, but goalkeepers are a well-protected species, as we know.
If that had gone in and been allowed, it would have been one of the messier goals we've seen in the Scottish Cup final. Conway lets it through. Goodwillie's got a chance here. David Goodwillie, the opportunity for the opener. What a great challenge by Alex Kenny. He's making a habit of that in this first half. The Glaswegian, he did really well to track back.
He made up some ground as well. The ball wouldn't come down quick enough for David Goodwillie. Had to take a touch. That allowed Kenny a bit of time, but that is still a terrific challenge. Goodwillie, a man in form. You fancied him here, but the centre back, that's terrific defending.
Scotland's young player of the year in his best goal scoring form. Best goal scoring season for Dundee United. Conway whips it in. Boyd with a header up. And Gary Miller has plenty of time. With one additional minute to be played. Kovacic. Boabin. Conway has some space. Ross County are pulled out of position. Conway sends it across. Good header! Well, John Daly again in good position. Man with 13 goals this season. Got power into this.
Yeah, it's a decent header. He's not sure where he is, so he just powers it goalward, and unlucky. Goes straight into the arms of the goalkeeper, but United just starting to kick into gear right as half-time approaches.
Yep, just comes at the wrong time for Dundee United. Ross County might be happy to get the break. Swanson for Good Willie. Good Willie keeps it in. Richard Britton with a challenge. Good Willie up once more. And Morrison with a challenge. The assistant didn't like it. He was onto the field very quickly in place. There was a flashpoint. Morrison very strong in the tackle.
I'm not sure why the assistant deems it necessary to come on. It looked like a decent challenge from over here. Gone through the ball, both players are there. He's walked towards him. I wonder if the linesman thought he was going to have a kick at him and was trying to do him a favour. So, yeah, I was going to say, why is he on there? But I think he was genuinely saw a flashpoint, was going to sort it out. Don't mind that.
A throw from Gary Kenneth. Gomez won't get there. Did he push over Gardine? He did. And Dundee United really took the sting out that attack themselves.
You know, you've been throwing balls into the box causing problems. They're trying to change it, move it back, and just give possession back to Ross County.
Well, what to do half-time for Peter Houston. Paul Hegarty behind him. Experienced cup final defeat 4 times at Dundee United. And Peter Houston will be concerned. He won't be surprised by the way Ross County have played. Perhaps a little bit surprised the way his own side has played. The half-time whistle goes at Hampden Park. David Goodwillie. Well, Alex Keddy denied him. John Daly has been involved too. Gary Kenneth up with the early chance. Not the first after 22 minutes. Couldn't bring it on target. Then perhaps the best moment of the match. Swanson confidently past Keddy. Really raced towards goal. Boyd held him up and Keddy was there to make the block. Unlucky for Danny Swanson. And Andy Webster from the corner seemed to come up and over the shoulder, but it was a push on the goalkeeper. Andy Webster was a little bit concerned by that. And what a challenge by Alex Keddy. Denied David Goodwillie the chance to get a shot on target. It's perhaps not been the half we've hoped for, but it's poised for the second half. Half-time at Hampden Park. It's Ross County 0, Dundee United 0.
Goalless at Hampden. Anybody else feeling a slight sense of anticlimax and disappointment, Pat?
I was for the first 15, 20, 25 minutes. I think it's built slowly over the last 20 minutes of that half. You can understand this, why you're a bit nervy, why players are a bit nervy at the start of a cup final. But I thought the last 10 or 15 minutes got more and more exciting, but it was one-way traffic. It was all towards the Ross County goal. And I think Derek Adams would be delighted to have his players in at half-time 0-0, see what he can do, whether he changes the system, the players possibly might have to look at adapting the system slightly because it's not sticking up front.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment, because Ross County are falling sucker to the same ball all the time, actually, John, aren't they?
Yeah, we'll see a wee bit more, but for me, I wouldn't be too unconcerned if I was County at the moment, because this has got similar traits to the semi-final against Celtic, where they worked their socks off at stopping Celtic playing too much to begin with, made Celtic play a lot of little passes, nicked it, came out, got their goal, and then really started to hit on the counter-attack. So, again, if I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, look, we've not played as well as we can, we've not created anything, but we'll get a chance out there. You know, if we keep working hard and keep working away, they'll get a chance and have to take it. That's the big thing about it. They did against Celtic. Can they do in the second half here? But it's not the game we expected, but as Pat says, it's just building nicely and hopefully the second half can really take off.
Yeah, there haven't been much in the way of goalmouth incident really, Kevin, but the surprising thing is we've been talking all day about how both teams like to get it down and play nice passing football. We've not seen much of that, have we?
We haven't. I mean, that's been the thing, but I think what's happened is both managers have done their homework. They've done their video analysis on how both teams are going to play, and especially Dundee United and Peter Houston, because his tactics aren't the case of playing it in the midfield and playing nice little passes and Ross County can haunt them and stop them from playing. It's get the ball down the channels, miss out that midfield area, and we'll create the chances where the runs are good willie down the channels, and they've been causing problems.
Yeah, well, we'll see plenty of examples of that in just a moment. Decent penalty claim for Dundee United, Pat.
I think we may have a debate here in the studio about this. The Strikers Union, we should all be strikers in the Strikers Union here, but I don't know where the defender can go here. I mean, I'm sure, you know, he's run straight into him. The defender's just stood his ground for me. Kevin, you don't agree?
I don't agree, Pat, because if the defender's gone in for a tackle with his wrong foot, he's gone in with the left foot, as Swanson's just knocked it to the side of him. So basically, it's a tackle with the wrong foot, he's gone down, it's a penalty kick.
I don't know where the defender can be. He goes, stands his ground, and says, right, get by me.
I think
it doesn't.
this is the classic case of anywhere else on the pitch, the referee would give a free kick for that.
Well, it's an indirect free kick.
He would give a free kick, but because it's in the box, he's thinking, no, I'm not having any controversy here. I'm not going to touch that. So I can see where both guys are coming from.
Yeah, well, you get the casting vote then.
I think it's a correct decision by Doug McDonald. No penalty.
My goodness, forward says no penalty.
Shock.
Shock indeed. County looked a little bit under pressure, certainly early on. They were being turned and harried, and this was rash, shall we say. Gary Miller. Deservedly a booking, Kevin?
Yes, in my eyes, yes. You know, his intent was to go there, and I mean, we've got the added ability to see it in the slow-mo and that, but I think Goodwilly's done absolutely fantastic to actually ride the tackle in the first place. He's just gone slightly higher than the ball, and it's not a nice one to see.
Of course, it leads to that. Now, that's a silly challenge, because he didn't need to go into the challenge in the first place. Could have lost his team a goal there.
Yeah.
You know, and no need to dive in there. Go down, close people down, make it difficult for them. The worst thing you can do is go off your feet, have a dive at the ball in an incredibly dangerous area. But again, it's cup final, it's rash, it's nervy, it's whatever. That's the reason they did it.
But a good example there to the threat that United carry, Robbo, from Webster and Kenneth coming up for those kind of balls.
Absolutely, we said that, the ability of Conway and Swanson to deliver, and we called it, there was a chance there, and Gary Kenneth, as Kevin said, he was caught standing and just slightly underneath the ball. If he gets a run at that, it's a goal. It's a goal written all over it. Pat's 100% correct. It's a silly, silly area to give a free kick away, especially when you've got giants like Kenneth, Webster, Kovacevic, Daly coming up to go and attack it. So they've got to watch that area of it. But it has been United. Obviously, Peter will be happy. He'll be happy with the start they've made. It wasn't as slow as they did against Wraith Rovers in the semi-final. He'll be very wary of what County have, but he'll want a goal now. He'll want to turn their superiority into a goal which will really settle United down.
Yeah, and I suppose that you then fall back in the old argument. You've dominated as United have in the first half, Kevin. You've not got the goal. So Ross County are probably the happier side in the dressing room, even though they've not been the better team.
Well, Derek Adams will be very happy. He's gone in 0-0. He's held up. United will be happy in other hands. They're creating the chances now, but half-time I think just came at the wrong time for Dundee United. They were just starting to press the authority. You say they're hitting the bar, they were getting closer, they're getting chances in there. So it's just now, as you said, when you're dominating, you have to score goals when you dominate, especially when you are the bigger side.
Absolutely. The tactical aspect of the first half was really all down to the way United approached it. The launching ball over the defenders' heads, down the channels, again and again and again.
The thing is, we didn't expect it, did we? And we were talking about the teams playing good football, and then it's not exactly a lump into the corner, but it's put it in behind either right full back, left full back, or in the channel sort of area. Now, we didn't expect that, but Robert, you were saying you thought there was a reason for it.
I think what they've done there, Pat, they've watched the Celtic game, and what County done with Celtic. Celtic played a lot of passing into feet, and County kept nicking off them. I think what they're doing is they're trying to get in behind, which they have done on several occasions now. But for me, this is where David Goodwillie has to show how clever he is. He can't keep running. What he's got to do now is go, check, come short, get the ball on the feet, turn and get at the defenders. Because suddenly, once Boyd and Keddy see him running, they've got a decision to make. Do I go tight and go short with Goodwillie, or do I step off and let him turn and get at me? At this moment in time, they're creating havoc by just simply knocking it in behind.
Do you also think there's a wee problem here that they're playing that ball in the back? We're showing goodness knows how many examples of it. There's got to be a space in there, Kevin. You lived in that area.
There's spaces about it, and I think sometimes Goodwillie's just got to time his run, because the odd occasion he is going wide too early, and if he just delayed it and stood still, just stand still, because then the defender doesn't know what to do. Then, as the ball, just the triggers coming from the defender, as the ball goes forward, then you make your run, and I think he will get into better positions.
And I know both of you played in a similar position, and Robbie, you would love a ball over the top to run onto like that. Kevin, you would love it a bit wider to run into those areas. But the whole point is, there's a massive big space in there.
It's great, and the main thing is, but they've created them because it's tactical, tactical decisions, and they know that Goodwillie's very, very clever at the runs. Daly drags him out, drags him away from the space. Goodwillie, he's the one that's finding that space. But as John quite rightly said, now's a couple of occasions he could maybe come and say, well, I'll drag you really long. because I don't want that. And I'll come short and they can just dink it over the midfield and
What
get
does Derek Adams do about that now? Because he wants his team to push up. That's obviously the tactic they've got. And Peter Houston's thought to himself, well, if they're going to push up,
it's not such a daft on either part, because you know yourself that when the ball's in behind and you're the defender going back, you've got to take the risk of knocking it back to your keeper and he deals with it, or you just knock out for a throw-in. And what happens? Gary Kenneth comes up, he's launching balls into the box and causing more problems. So there's a productive part of it that if they don't get their United forwards, they're getting a throw-in in a very, very dangerous position to throw it in. If they do get there, as you saw twice there with Good Willie and Swanson, they're actually got in chance of goals. And if it hadn't been for some wonderful defending from Alex Keddy, the tactic could well have paid off.
The intriguing thing is there's more than one way to skin a cat. If you're actually playing football in the way that people love to see, passing the ball, passing, moving, we hear a lot of managers talking about the Barcelona way. And see if that's not working. See if there's another tactic on. Use it. It may not be as beautiful, but you've got to use it. I'm really impressed by Peter Houston, the way he's done in the first half.
I'm interested, though, and John raised the point you've all agreed about David Goodwillie now varying things a little bit. He's a young player. He's been told this is the way we're playing it. Now he has to think about coming short, mixing it up a bit, and giving Keddy and Boyd a few problems.
All he has to do now is have a chat with a couple of the Webster and Kenneth who are getting most of the ball, and just say, listen, see the first couple, knock them in, I'm going. See the third one, I'm going to go and come and give it to me, and I'll turn and get at them. And it's just enough to put a seeded out into the Ross County defenders, because they're expecting it now, it's going to come, and even though they're expecting it, there's still good runs for the United forwards are getting in behind there. So it's now about cleverness, it's about learning the game, it's about David Goodwillie's character. Go, come short, get it and get at them, because if you just continually make the same runs, the defenders get used to it. He's got to mix up his game now and really try to turn the tide for United.
Talking of runs, one lovely moment in the first half. Danny Swanson, fabulous run down the middle. Probably a run that really deserved a goal, but John mentioned it. Alex Keddy's had two sensational blocks in this first half, hasn't he?
Well, more than just blocks. I mean, his entire game's been good. If you cut yourself out of position, you make sure you get back, and he's managed to do that brilliantly. I mean, that's precisely what you should do. When you lose it, you make a beeline for where the danger area is. But that was, I mean, great skill. We'll talk about defenders, and well done. They have the final thing to do. But the hardest part of the game is actually to create.
Watch Keddy's position. He's out of position.
He comes from a mile
He just
away.
comes in now. Look, that's an unbelievable challenge. That you know, because he's way out of position and he gets.
And don't forget, Kevin, he's a defender that Swanson knocks it past. He could have taken Swanson out there and just blocked him, and as we say before, take one for the team. But he thought, I'll see if my lads get back. He saw the danger they weren't getting back there. A wonderful block. He had a great block at the front post to stop David Goodwillie getting in as well. And he had another block later on, which, you know, he's done well for his team.
Yeah, but what a run by Swanson. That was from halfway through back in his own half, wasn't it?
That's fantastic. But I think it's going to take something like that as well, because it is so tight. So when someone with the ability that Swanson's got, if he can do it like he's just done and showed us, you just need that end bit. It was half a step,
Is that
wasn't
not another problem that Derek Adams has got? Because you're playing so many balls long, the gap will open in the middle. And Swanson, as you said before the game, he's exactly the type of player who's going to make good use of that
Run
space.
into that gap.
Exactly.
Asking Conway, of course. Towards the end of the half, a couple of United headers. This is an interesting one. Andy Webster, this was well, it hits the bar, and County get the free kick. I'm not sure that...
I think we look at the goalkeeper here, don't we? From the second angle, is the keeper being impeded?
I don't think that's a foul. I really don't think I know we've said before that keepers get well protected, but David Goodwillie stand his ground. The keeper's 6'2", 6'3". He shouldn't be caught there. That's the bit I'd be worried about, Pat. My keeper should not be getting caught there. But there's another good ball in. But for me, the corner shout there, I think Dougie McDonald's been a little bit lenient in the goalkeeper.
The big thing about it is now we are now seeing, and we were talking about that last 10 or 15 minutes, is building up now. United are getting different types of chances now. They're getting crosses in from wide areas. The big lads are looking very dangerous in every single one of them. In simple terms, Ross County actually can't take another 45 minutes of that. Something will give. And so Ross County now have to adapt and do something different. Whether it means, slightly unusually, instead of leaving one up front, two up front, somebody with a bit of pace to help Barrowman up there, pull the game the other direction, but it's a brave thing you have to do.
But we've not really seen County as an attacking force at all, really, have we?
You look at, I don't think Pernice has had anything to do at all. A couple of pass backs, he's not to take any crosses, they've not forced a corner, they've had a couple of free kicks, but nothing, and that's what it was exactly the same against Celtic, but they got the goal. A wonderful sole effort from Stevie Craig, and then it started to open up. But Pat's right, that they have to try and do something different. Now, whether it's a change in the tactics and going 4-4-2, or maybe just saying to Stevie Craig and Gardyne, look, go and play up there, with Barrowman and try and do something, because you're right, it's a funny situation, because this will probably be part of Derek Adams' strategy to play in the break, but they've not created a chance, and you don't want to finish. Sorry, Pat.
It's part of it, which they've put a sitting midfielder there as a big part of Derek Adams' plan.
Correct.
No part of the game, they're lobbing the ball beyond them, so you're almost losing a player.
Well, they've taken him out, but I think for County's perspective, if I'm their fan, or I'm a player now, and we heard it saying, you've got to take part in this cup final.
Yeah.
Right? Jim McInally said you have to take part in this cup final. I don't think the County players have done themselves justice so far, and if they go and play the same in the second half and lose 1-0 or 2-0, they're going to leave this stadium with lots of regrets. If I'm Derek Adams, I'm going out there saying, right guys, 45 minutes, 0-0, no regrets. Let's go out and give it our best shot. If we win, fantastic. If we've lost, then at least we've had a go. Don't get beat by just sitting in.
Classic example of the coach having to do a lot of work in the dressing room at half-time. Certainly on the Ross County side, whether Peter Houston's happy with the way things are or might want to change it as well, we'll see very shortly. Incidentally, goalless at Wembley as well. FA Cup final, it's Chelsea 0, Portsmouth 0 there as well. So no goals so far here at Hampden, but it's still one of the great occasions in the traditional cup final sunshine. Absolutely packed crowd. What was all that about Dundee United and Ross County wouldn't fill Hampden for the cup final? They are here in their thousands, in the tangerine and in the blue and white. All they've lacked so far is a goal. Are we going to get one in the second half? United...
Mind you, the good thing with that is if you don't score, nobody knows you've got it.
It's called hedging your bets, isn't it?
Kenneth. Sent back to him from Conway. Kenneth across, that's where Conway would be. John Daly coming over. Gary Millett shepherding the ball out of play. Well, the real Ross County now introduce themselves to the match. Well, will Dundee United try and see things away through on towards Goodwill. He was strong. Boyd had to make the challenge to get it away.
It's going the way we thought now, you know. They give the ball away, Ross County on the break, and Dundee United almost picked them off. Very similar to the goal in the semi. Through ball from Danny Swanson to the onrushing David Goodwill. Good defending again, Scott Boyd.
Conway. It's 12th Scottish Cup tie for Dundee United. Launches it into the middle. Headed away again by Boyd. Vigers forward, Barrowman. Gardyne. Dillon is strong. Looks like Gardyne has been given the role just much further forward now, Craig.
Yeah, I think they know he's got to get involved. The Ross County are going to get back into the game. The top players have got to be playing, and Gardyne can create problems, but he's got to get himself into an area where he can get on the ball.
Ross County have to do better from there. That's a disappointment from Jimmy Scott. Well, he's loved this competition this season. The goalkeeper, McGovern's played so well. What a time to make a mistake.
Yeah, I think the ball probably would have come to him in the box, and when you go out, you've got to head it, and you've got to get it, give it air, give players a chance to get underneath it and complete the clearance. You head it straight to David Goodwill, and the form he's in, you always fancy that might just end up in the back of the net.
Michael McGovern puts his foot through that one. So Dundee United have taken the lead in the last 3 meetings against Ross County. Take the lead here again. Burness sends it away. Oh, head flick on by John Daly. Through on to the goalkeeper. Webster. Boabin. This season he's had still didn't make the Ghanaian World Cup squad, although perhaps surprisingly Harry Kingston of Hearts did. Still a young man though. Boabin just 22, capped twice for his country. Lawson battles with Daly. And on to Boyd. Ross County have been behind before in the Scottish Cup. They were behind to Hibs and came back on a couple of occasions. And they do it here in the final. Gardyne. Lawson wide onto Vigers. Good first touch. Ball inside. Will he try it on the right? He brings it back onto Scott. And after 68 minutes, Dusan finally has a save to make.
And straight at him, a good play, cuts in, lays the ball back. It's a side foot, you know, hits target. They're never going to beat a goalkeeper of Pernas quality, not with that kind of effort.
Well, Derek Adams knows what it's like to score winning goals against Dundee United. The first meeting, September 98, 0-0 after 90 minutes. He notched 2 in extra time for the victory. As Danny Swanson is down, a little bit of trouble, perhaps just cramp from the way he's being treated there.
Yeah, strange, you know, it's a really grassy park, and sometimes that does take a little bit extra out the calves. It certainly looks like he's getting the calf stretched, but with 20 minutes to go, you know, it's going to be a push for him to finish the match.
I mean, in terms of the goal, I mean, simple play from Dundee United, and you could argue that that was overhit.
Yeah, well, I thought the goalkeeper, when he came, was going to just step back. I mean, you go outside, just head it up as high as you can. If the ball's in the air for a few seconds, defenders can get across and help you, but he kind of took the pace off the ball, gave it straight to David Goodwillie, and the rest, as we know, is history.
Well, David Goodwillie, internationalist under 16 to under 21 level, will be knocking on the door of the full squad in time should he continue his fine form. But Dundee United are ahead, and Ross County have to do something about this. So they finished 5th in Division 1, are behind the other side 3rd in the SPL. Giacomo has been sent to warm up for Ross County. 7 goals this term for the former Killie man. As Goodwillie gives the ball away. Forward on to Barrowman. Kenneth bit early. Gomez though wins it, can send it out wide onto Conway. 20 minutes to play. The Active Nations Scottish Cup final. Conway, little shimmy. Keddy turns it across. Well, it was almost a very awkward one for the goalkeeper. And the assistant has said he thought it was out, but Dougie McDonald said no.
Yeah, I think that Dougie McDonald possibly feels he gets a better view here. You know, how can the linesman on this side see that when you see the goalkeeper's body across it? So I think the referee's right. He has to make that decision.
Forward by Morrison. On to Andy Webster. Kovacevic. Daly runs it well. Britton in the midfield. Morrison long. Webster. With the header, and out of play it goes. Scott Morrison's Dunfermline side with a goal down against Celtic in the cup final 2007 and couldn't come back. There's Ross County side trail here. Lawson infield. Gomez. Well, the referee will give the free kick. He'll go to the book as well. Up and in there was Richard Britton.
Yeah, well, Richard Britton felt the chance was coming, just got out the road of it. No, Gomez has come, the foot's low, the studs aren't showing, no contacts made, but the referee's going to say the intent was there.
Ian Baggers will have to come back. The referee is still writing. They're not superhuman referees. They've got, you know, can't referee and write at the same time. Derek Adams is out barking out the orders. He's been so calm all week in the build-up, and now time a little bit more invested and involved. Let his players know it too. Gary Miller inside. United preparing another change. Ball flicked up, turned away by Kovacevic. Scott Robertson is preparing to come on. It's Danny Swanson will be withdrawn. Ball played forward and Gary Kenneth can hook it clear. And the United fans, they're happier, Craig, but I mean, they've had so much disappointment in this competition in the past. They'll take nothing for granted.
No, Hampden has never been a happy hunting ground until the whistle goes.
Here comes Vigers. Vigers again wants to stay on his left side. Kovacevic realising that. I thought he won the ball, but he's come through the man. That's the problem. Just not allowed now.
No, If the forward gets his leg across, you cannot whack him and then whack the ball. It's got to be the ball first, and you can see he has come right through the player, and that will always be penalised.
Quality delivery required from Richard Britton. They're looking for their 25th goal in the Scottish Cup this season, as the change is going to be made first.
Normally never make a change when you're defending a set piece, but when the man is hobbling, get him off.
And Scott Robertson, for all his time at Dundee United, this is his 43rd match, makes his Scottish Cup debut for the club. Britton sends it in, flicked header out. Morrison flashes it past Boyd. Again, no real control to the play for Ross County. That was more hit and hope.
And Dundee United, every single player back. They've got the lead. They will defend as if their lives depend on it. So Ross County are going to have to break them down, and that won't be easy.
Sean Millen with the throw. Will Dundee United be a narrower side without Danny Swanson, or will Gomez come out a little bit more to this right side?
I think they will be, but the fact they're ahead, that's not going to worry them in the slightest. You know, that's an extra man in midfield who has defensive qualities, and that makes it even more difficult to break down.
Good Willie flicks it through onto Conway, gets away from Kenny. This could be it! It is! Craig Conway for Dundee United to go 2-0 up, and the cup may well be heading to Tannadice. Craig Conway and David Goodwillie combined, and Craig Conway makes it 2-0.
Well, that's the one that gives Ross County a mountain to climb. It's a decent flick through from David Goodwillie. Now it's all about Conway's pace. Kerry can't get there. Now composure required. Rolls under Michael Gardine into the back of the net. Big Conway has always looked capable today, and that is a terrific finish.
Only the second time in their history Dundee United net more than a single goal in the Scottish Cup final, and it was calmly done by Craig Conway, who scores for the first time in the Scottish Cup for Dundee United. He's happy, there's no doubt about that. He's happy.
Well, as I say, it's a dream season for Peter Houston, taking over, finishing third. I'd have settled for that. He wants the cup as well, and now he knows his team are on the verge of winning the trophy.
Well, the Dundee United fans now singing Beautiful Sunday, a bit of a tangerine anthem. Will they be concerned as Viger sends it across, and Dillon flicks the ball behind.
Slacky bodies in there for Ross County in the middle. It's a decent ball in, but more United defenders. If you look in there, always more orange jerseys than blue, and the ball goes to the back post. Nobody attacks it. Easy header play from Sean Dillon.
Corner and easily taken by Gomez. Forward towards Goodwillie. Goodwillie up against Morrison. Morrison fouled him, stepped him across, and the referee will not appreciate the words of Scott Morrison here.
No, Scott Morrison, he stepped across the ball and gone into David Goodwillie. That's why he's been penalised now. Referee Doug McDonald, I'll tell you what, who's kept the game going. You know, it hasn't been a difficult game to referee, but he hasn't got much wrong.
It's time for Paul de Giacomo. Started against Berwick Rangers, scored a couple of goals, played against Stirling Albion, an unused sub in the last three, but he replaces Michael Gardine, who can add to his 3 Scottish Cup goals this season. And Paul de Giacomo, well, it's a big thing to ask of any player to come on and try and turn things around.
You've got roughly 15 minutes to get 2 goals and get Ross County back into the game, but 2-0's that funny lead. You know, if they do concede and there's 6-7 minutes to go, the game can turn on its head, but United are hard to break down. They do not mess about. They will not throw men forward and leave the back door open.
Tom Daly was looking for it, and the ball drifts out of play. Last 10 Scottish Cup finals, the losing team have failed to register on the score sheets. It's Ross County 0, Dundee United 2, and Robertson gets ready to come on. Andy Webster a little bit slow to get back onto his feet. You know, just take his time. David Goodwillie, the goal scorer, is getting ready to come off, and he can take a bow He just wanders away, knows he's been seen, just wandering as far away to the far side as he can.
David Gwilly, terrific, you know, scored the all-important goal. He's going to get a standing ovation from the United fans. And Peter Houston, wily campaigner that he is going to shut up shop. He's going to take off a striker and put on a midfielder, and he's going to make it as difficult as possible for Ross County to score and give themselves half a chance.
Well, the hero of the quarter-final replay takes his place on the Scottish Cup final stage, David Robertson, with David Goodwillie. He's played his part, 4 goals this season in the Scottish Cup. Another change going to be made by Derek Adams too, and then Gary Wood will be introduced into the action. Quarter-final goal scorer, just like David Robertson. Here comes to Giacomo. Tries to send it down the line, but out of play. And here is the final change. And it's Jimmy Scott who's withdrawn. Well, he beat Dundee United as a Livingston player when Robert Snodgrass scored the only goal that day. Disappointment today, and Gary Wood, like Paul Di Giacomo, charged with turning round the fortunes of the Highlanders.
It's go for broke, and you can't blame Derek Adams. He's in a situation now where he's going to have to throw men forward. Giacomo can score, Wood can score, Barrowman, he's got enough people up there who know where the back of the net is if he can get the ball forward.
Boyd. Chip ball away. But can't get there. Boabin does. David Robertson. On to Gary Kenneth. Kenneth Long. Kovacevic on a swipe. Andy Webster in behind him. Oh, that's a free kick. Morrison just coming through on David Robertson. Just bring himself to the attention of the referee too much at the moment, Scott. Morrison.
Yeah, having given the referee a bit of stick on the far side, you don't really want to follow up with a challenge like that because you know you're going to be penalised.
The goalkeeper yelled for it and eventually decided to come for it. McGovern sent it out wide. Boyd forwards. Dillon just easing his man away from the ball. Kovacevic chases after it, and the throw will go the way of Ross County. Morrison yelling for the ball to Lawson. Britton back onto Keddy. Keddy sent forward. Gary Wood. It's the first touch, can't get past Kovacevic, has to settle for the throw.
Just wonder if Scott Morrison can just get enough on this to get it in the front post area.
Morrison sends it in, headed away by Webster. Boabin can't get there, it's Wood with a shot. Just didn't get his foot on it, just seemed to skip and skim away off the studs.
Maybe slightly early, just on the part, the ball breaks to him. Half cleared by David Robertson, just shoved back in, comes to Gary Wood, gets nothing on it at all.
Picked up by Wood. Out wide it goes. Morrison. And the ball then easily dealt with by Andy Webster. Has to be tested an awful lot harder than that.
You've got to beat the first man. You put in that area, it's easy. Defenders will always defend that front post area. You've got to get by there to give your team a chance.
Back on to Paul Lawson. Lawson again, floats it in. Well, Dundee United, well, they've shown it to so many SPL sides this season. They're a hard unit to break down, and especially You know, if you've added in Robertson and Scott and Robertson and David, makes it really hard in the midfield.
Yeah, and I don't blame managers. People say, oh, go for a third goal, you know, we're enjoying it. It's all about winning the game. It's seeing out the victory. That's exactly what United are doing. Now, Kovacevic, who had started to struggle, you know, he's been injured. I think the legs had gone, and they're not going to take a chance with anybody.
Well, he played his part too this afternoon, and also at Ibrox with a vital goal he scored there. And Keith Watson, sub in the quarter-final, sub in the semi-final, is on. 20-year-old from Livingston. Conway falling on to David Robertson, who's offside. Well, Craig Levein will be delighted, I'm sure, for Peter Houston, the way that he's just brought things on and continued the fine work. And I'm sure he'll be pleased too for like Craig Conway, a player he thinks very highly of.
Yeah, he knows a few players will be in his thoughts for the Scotland squad as well in this Dundee United team.
John Daly, the Irishman, leading the charge now, just wants to stretch the game. Gomez with the dummy run, it was played across. Oh, the error by Kenny. Robertson picks up. United looking for a third, but they're prepared to look for it very slowly. Robertson. Oh, just bounced back up from the challenge. It's the right way to do it. Don't be rattled, don't lose the composure. You're quite happy. Just the only thing you want to lose is the time.
I think all he's doing is sticking it in that corner. You spend a couple of minutes down there. It's 2 minutes nearer the final whistle and celebrating what will be a great victory for him.
Just over 5 minutes to play at Hampden. It's going to be a Ross County throw. It's interesting, the David Goodwillie goal just changed everything, because Danny Cadamatri was the substitute warming up, trying to catch the eye of the manager, and ironically he's the only one of the outfield subs that doesn't get on.
Yeah, especially when you go 2-0 up. I don't think the centre forward's getting on.
Daly on to Gomez, plays it across. Is it second for Conway? It is! And if there was any doubt before, there's none now. Dundee United will win the Active Nations Scottish Cup in 2010, and it's a double for Craig Conway.
Another terrific finish from Conway at the back post, tucks in the middle. Ross County try to get the ball out, United win it, and after that it's all about getting into the box and making the most of it. His touch is good, and then the second just fires it in the bottom corner. Ross County just starting to tire, lose out there, but when it comes to Conway, still a bit of work to do here. Decent touch, great finish.
It's heartbreak for the Highlands, it's delight for Dundee, as Conway knew it, and off he went to celebrate. It's Dundee United's day in the sunshine at Hampden, and they've not had too many of them. Well, they ended a 14 game without a goal spell against Motherwell in April, but it's a memorable May for Craig Conway. In a season that's seen him capped for the first time, he'll win the medal too as Ross County try and come back. There is Paul de Giacomo with a chance of a cup final goal, but Dusan Pernice dropping onto the shot.
Well, I think Ross County should have probably had their consolation there. It's another substitute, maybe comes a little bit too sharp, not on his stronger side, but if he gets anything on that at all, a fair chance it flashes by the goalkeeper.
Well, the man of the match has been announced as Craig Conway, which is the old adage, score a goal, you'll get man of the match. Tends to be the way. Although I don't suppose Alex Kerry, I mean, he would have been a candidate, would get it now, but he'd played terrifically well.
No, yeah, and if you score two, you're an absolute stick on, aren't you? But Alex Kerry, a couple of terrific challenges. You know, led his team as best he could, but it's just a case of Ross County never quite hit the heights they have done in the previous two ties against SPL sides.
Oh, Wood was clumsy there, and then left the foot in, and a yellow card comes out from Dougie McDonald. 4 yellow cards from the referee. Well, what is nice is that most of the Ross County fans are staying. They will, well, they couldn't believe they're here, let's be honest, Craig. They'll give their team an absolute rousing reception, but there's to be no Juventus at Dingwall next season.
No, well, it would have been terrific. It's a terrific story anyway. It's just unfortunate that it's unravelled on finals day. 3-0 might not be really a fair reflection. The game was closer than that, but over the pace, you've got to say United were the dominant side. Ross County, they just didn't create chances. And if you're going to topple Dundee United, I think they had to take the lead, give themselves something to defend.
As it stands, it's the biggest winning margin in the Scottish Cup since Celtic beat Hibs back in 2001 on the same 3-0 scoreline. United coming forward again. Daly keen to get on the goal sheet, but too keen to get the ball, just pushing. There's likely to be 2 minutes of additional time. But Peter Houston will join the name of Ivan Golac as a winning manager for Dundee United in the Scottish Cup. Paul de Giacomo for Ross County. Still trying to go up against Scott Robertson. Still de Giacomo battles away. And he failed to score against Dundee United in the League Cup. He failed to score against Inverness when they went out of the League Challenge Cup. It's another blank day at the moment for Ross County, as they earn their status of Scottish Cup runners-up. Morrison sends it in, Pernice comes through. So many balloons, he could have gathered one of them, but thankfully got the white ball.
He did well, spotted it, went down and amongst them and made a nice comfortable catch.
One ball sent through, the goalkeeper will gather. Of course, Ross County were hoping to become the first side out with the top flight since 1938 to win the Scottish Cup when East Fife did it. East Fife defeated Dundee United 5-0 en route to the final. But today Dundee United have done their job, and their chairman Stephen Thompson looking on. Well, he's on the big screens too, and the wave round for the Dundee United fans who are celebrating.
Yeah, and they deserve it. You mentioned they've come here and gone home unhappy on so many occasions. This has been a great day for them, and I think Stephen Thompson might get a phone call from the Motherwell chairman offering maybe a bottle of red wine, because that's going to put them in Europe.
In terms of the European situation, Motherwell will go at round 2 of the Europa League, Hibs round 3, and Dundee United in 4. Marvellous moments for Peter Houston. Just a few years ago, was out of work, was wondering where his next job would come from in footballing terms, and here today in the sunshine, about to be anointed the winning manager of the Active Nations Scottish Cup. Watson sends it long, the box, Conway, he's on a hat-trick hunt, and the ball gets knocked away. Well, it's a very select group who scored a hat-trick in a Scottish Cup final. Craig Conway had a little chance to add his name to it.
I don't think he ever considered passing that, did he? As soon as he saw any kind of sight of goal, he was going to let fly.
Well, he wants another chance as Gomez tries to come through. Well, just 4 hat-tricks in Scottish Cup final history. The last, Gordon Jury, 14 years ago against Hearts. And the United just seeing out time now. And the fans who were concerned about the possibility of an upset, we've seen the time professionally through 47,000 inside this famous stadium, and Dundee United are 20 seconds away from hearing the final whistle. Robertson tried to send it through. Here comes Paul de Giacomo. Inside, on to Britton. Britton sends it wide. Woods inside the box looking for it. Stumped clear, but it is all over. It's silverware in their centenary season. The spoils to Dundee United, Scottish Cup winners in 2010. Peter Houston, Paul Hegarty and co, absolutely delighted. And on the day, smart by David Goodwillie, there's no doubt they deserved it.
Yeah, for sure, they were the better side. Scrappy early on, but when Dundee United scored the goal, they then took control. Another couple of finishes from Craig Conway put the icing on the cake, but Ross County, you feel for them, and absolutely magnificent to get here. But unfortunately on the big day, didn't produce their best, and they were against a quality side, and there was all sorts of celebrations in Dundee tonight.
3 second-half goals for Dundee United, started by Good Willie, the double from Conway, and the celebrations can begin. Ross County, the players, they go to their fans, they will try and lift them, but it's delight all over the park in Tangerine, and Andy Webster will be getting his hands on that famous old trophy. David Goodwillie has jettisoned the tracksuit top. He just wants to be seen in the Tangerine. Sean Dillon there too, celebrating. Craig Conway. Sporting handshake. These are just great moments. You've experienced it yourself.
Yeah, I've experienced both. You know, winning is absolutely fabulous, and losing is one of these things that you try not to remember too often. You know, people say, it was a great day out. Not for the losers, it really is, and it's dreadfully disappointing. Top marks to the Ross County fans, because as often when you lose, your end's empty. You're as well just getting off the park, but the players have had to go down there. They have had absolutely magnificent backing from the people down for the Highlands. It's just unfortunate they didn't really get anything to shout about, but the United fans will party along in tonight. Brilliant result for them. Third place is great, but this team will be remembered because they won something. They brought a cup back to Tannadice, and for that they'll go down in history books as one of the club's legendary sides.
So Gary Kenneth there, Sean Dillon too. Gary Kenneth, a third cup final for Dundee United at just age 22. He now knows what it's like to win one. And Sean Dillon, a winner in Ireland, now a winner in Scotland too. And a moment too for Lee Wilkie.
Yeah, I saw him coming on after the game, and what a season it's been for Big Lee. It was great at the club. They bring him along today, leads the team out, but it's absolutely tragic that his career has been cut short. I would think 29, you know, he had a number of good years left. He'd made his way into the international squad, and a day like this, we'll cheer him. He'll be delighted for his teammates, but it's a sad, sad year for him.
Richard Britton, such disappointment. It can be hard to take. Jonathan Sullivan on his pitch side, he's with the man of the match, Craig Conway.
Craig, how does it feel to have become a Dundee United legend?
Unbelievable. I couldn't explain it in words. We've built up to this for weeks now. It's been hard to keep our minds off it, and it's just an unbelievable feeling, you know what I mean? People have spoke about becoming legends, and you try to take it with a pinch of salt, you know what I mean? Till actually you need to get the job done first, and just unbelievable feeling to score two in a final. I've dreamt about it, and it's something you dream when you're a young boy, and obviously I've done that. And I remember a fan at Piper Dam a couple of weeks ago promised me drinks for 2 years if I scored in a final, so look forward to that tonight.
Oh yes, what do you remember about the goals?
I just remember Goody getting a touch on it, and I've got in front of the defender, and all defenders coming. I knew I was too quick for him, and I got there before him, and then to be honest I just thought smashing it. My left foot was on my left side, so I seen Michael coming rushing it, and I've just tried to keep it low and get it under him.
And how does it feel to see the whole of Hampden decked out in orange, bouncing now?
Unbelievable. The whole of Dundee deserves it. The fans have been unbelievable. Both sets of fans. I mean, talking a team for the first division, and us obviously one of the teams in Scotland. It's unbelievable.
Greg, well done. Well done.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So it's the name of Dundee United which goes on to the Scottish Cup for the second time, just easing some of the pain of those 7 final defeats. And in the end, I don't think even the most passionate of those Ross County fans who travelled down from the Highlands could really argue with the outcome. There was nothing in it in the first half, but United clearly the better side in the second. And in the end, it's a 3-0 win for Peter Houston and Dundee United in front of one of the most colourful cup final crowds I think we've ever had at Hampden. It really has been a day to remember. You feel obviously for Derek Adams and his first division side. They gave their all, but on the day, perhaps the gulf between the two, Pat, eventually proved significant.
Yeah, it did. If from the lower leagues, if you're going to win a cup final and beat a top league side, you need to have your great day, your best day, and hope the other side don't have their best day. Ross County had their very, very best performance of the season against Glasgow Celtic. They just didn't have it quite to the standard today. And they didn't pass the ball as much, but that's because United didn't allow them.
And the man who leapt out of his seat, not once, not twice, but 3 times, Kevin Gallagher, You were disappointed in your final here in '88, but today's pretty special for every Arab.
Oh, it was fantastic. You know, I think the superiority at the end actually told. You know, I think they started tiring a little bit at the end, but I must admit, that was it. They were fantastic.
When United last lifted the Scottish Cup in 1994, Ross County had yet to play their first match as a Scottish League side. How they've advanced in 16 years, but the disappointment will be etched all over the faces of Richard Britton and co. George Peat, the president, and the SFA, shaking their hands. What a journey all the way from Bennett Rangers they played in November in Dingwall, all the way through past the Inverurie Locals, Stirling Albion, that 9-0 win, the win against Hibs in the quarter-final, the semi-final against Celtic, but a step too far in the final. Scott Boyd going through there. Ross County, such disappointment there. Stuart Carrawell, who didn't get on the field of play. Sub-goalkeeper Joe Mallon coming through. Moments that these players will remember. Gary Miller, Michael Gardine, what he's given to this competition. Well, some of the medals round the neck, some just want to take them off. And Derek Adams, what a job he's done. He's been absolutely terrific. Stephen Thompson, the consoling pat on the back. Well, it wasn't the day he wanted in the end. It's disappointment. Will there be pride there too? The assistants make their way up the stairs 2-2 with the referee, Dougie MacDonald, and they shake hands. And it's an uneventful cup final for the assistants and for the referee. That's the way they wanted it, as Lee Wilkie and Andy Webster swap jokes and stories. And a great moment now for Dundee United as they prepare to come up.
Yes, it's fantastic down there. You know the whistle's gone, you know the job's done, and it's all about celebrating now, and it's getting that medal that you look at for the rest of your days. It could be your first of many, it could be your last. You've no way of knowing, so savour every minute. There's enough bad times in football. When you do something special, enjoy every minute of it.
20 steps ahead of Andy Webster to collect the oldest football trophy in the world, made in Glasgow in 1885. And what a moment for Andy Webster, leading his side up. Lee Wilkie in behind him, Stephen Thompson with a handshake. Stuart Telfer, City Refrigeration's financial director, gets ready to hand the trophy. Who wants it for Dundee United? It's going to be a joint lift. Andy Webster and Lee Wilkie. Dundee United have won the Scottish Cup in 2010. Absolute delight for Dundee United in their centenary season. Gary Kenneth, 3 cup finals. John Daly there too can celebrate. Well, Sean Dillon with a big smile, and why not David Robertson in behind him on as a sub. Well, David Goodwillie, he does nothing the easy way, the sunglasses and all. Danny Swanson, terrific. Morgano Gomez, he has his turn. Mikhail Kovacevic, the Swiss, is a cup winner in Scotland. Prince Marvin, the Ghanaian, yeah, he's enjoying himself too. Craig Conway, what an ovation he'll get. 2 goals. And a proud smile from Craig Livy. Susan Pernis guts his hands on the trophy. Danny Cadamatri didn't play today, but played his part. Steve Banks, the sub-goalkeeper, coming through in a moment or two. Peter Houston watching on too. He'll get a moment to hold the trophy aloft. Great for Stephen Banks, a winner too, with Hearts also an unused substitute. The roar round Hampden now for the man they call the boss, Peter Houston. The handshake sportingly from Roy McGregor. It does not get any better than that as a football manager. Stephen Thompson too, the chairman, smiling. Sure thoughts of his dad.
Yeah, you know, it will go back to that. You think of the work the family have put in, the money they've spent at the club. These are the days they were looking for, and they employed that man there to get them to Hampden and send them home with a winner's medal, and he's managed exactly that. You could not meet a nicer fella than Peter Houston. People say nice guys don't finish first. You better believe they do if they're good enough, and he is good enough.
The stage has been built, and Dundee United celebrate. Well, it's what they wanted all season. Somebody better hold on to that. It's worth a lot of money. Don't want the Scottish Cup going and toppling over there, but the delight of Dundee United is clear for all to see, and here comes Andy Webster.
Yeah, you want to be involved in the celebrations. As I say, the fans are going to stay. Go and enjoy it for the next 10 or 15 minutes, whatever it is, because these things, the times don't come along too often. Andy Webster, what a season he's had. He has formed a magnificent relationship with the Dundee United fans. It will be interesting to see next year when he heads for Tannadice in the light blue of Glasgow Rangers, how they take to him, because they've got to love what he produced for them over this campaign.
Been absolutely terrific. Dundee United inflicting only a 13th loss of the season on a 50-match season for Ross County. But Dundee United simply terrific. The fluttered fetty in the background. And Dundee United, they will celebrate on Tayside, certainly the Tangerine Park, for a long time to come. Andy Webster with just one of those marvellous moments. Peter Houston is the winning manager. He's with Jonathan Sutherland.
Peter, congratulations. Doesn't really get any better than this.
No, it doesn't get any better than this. A magnificent second half of performance for the players. Felt in the first half, Ross County tried to contain us, sat in, probably played too many long balls over the top. Successful sometimes, but fantastic day for the United fans. 28,000 covered with this black monster.
Peter, what did you say to the lads at half-time?
Be patient, make sure we don't get hit in any counter-attack, because I felt Ross County were set up to try and hit us in a counter-attack. Our natural game to try to play football. Today, I thought the second half, once the first goal went in, we thoroughly merited our win.
And you can dine out on this for the rest of your life, Peter. How does it feel to be a Dundee United legend?
I'm just so happy for these 28,000 fans who came through here today. 16 years of wait, it's a long, long time, and there'll be a big, massive party in Dundee tonight.
Congratulations, Peter.
Thanks
all the best.
Thank you.
As Craig Patterson was saying, one of the nicest guys in the game, and no one will be anything other than delighted for Peter Houston. He was one of the backroom team, Robbo, when you won in 1998. Bit special though to do it in your own right as the manager, isn't it?
It will be, and I'm glad they showed Craig Levine there as well, because he's been a huge part of this Dundee United success. But Houston, from a man who at first wasn't sure, you know, they took a 7-1 baton of Rangers, and he wasn't sure what, but he's grown into the job. The stature he's produced, the players respect him, they love him. And it's a fantastic honour, and I've got to say, really well deserved. I'm so impressed with the way that United managed to handle the pressure of being the favourites. It's an unusual situation for them to be in, but from start to finish, they totally dominated this game. They did to Ross County today what Ross County did to Celtic in the semi-final.
No doubt about it. And the man who got the all-important opening goal was David Goodwillie. Let's hear from him.
David, many congratulations. You're a Scottish Cup winner and you scored the first goal. Tell me, what was going through your mind when you got the chance?
Well, I just thought his goalie was out his goal, so I just try and put it in the net. So thank God it went in. But a few players would have been screaming.
How good did it feel when you see it hit the net?
Felt amazing, It means so much to us, and we've worked so hard all season. A lot of people thought we kind of let it go because we lost a few games at the end of the season. But we only done that to rest players for the final and things like that.
How does it feel to be a Dundee United legend?
I wouldn't say a legend, but I would just say it feels really good. It feels like a dream.
And how great was it to see the whole of Hampden bouncing, the Tangerine ranks? It must have been absolutely amazing.
Oh, we knew how many was coming down and we couldn't believe it. And I think it's the most it's ever brought for Tannadice anyway. It just feels amazing.
Congratulations, David. Enjoy the night.
Cheers. Cheers. Hey, cheers.
Cheers, David.
27,000 Dundee United fans, many of whom will have been here at Hampden before, not just in the Scottish Cup, it has to be said, but in the Cooperative Insurance Cup just a couple of seasons ago, for example, and they've had to go back to Dundee, disappointed with cup final today, in the past. Today perhaps doesn't make up for those defeats, but my goodness, they will enjoy it. And hasn't it been fantastic, Pat, to see the massed ranks of the United fans at one end and the Ross County fans at the other? It's been a very special cup final.
Yes, it has been, and we get used to certain fans walking away at the end of cup finals for teams getting beat. Ross County didn't, stayed. So well done them. But as you said again, those Arabs have come down time and time again. Have been disappointed time and time again. You'd think they get a bit fed up with after a while, but I think they felt that this was going to be their day, and I have to agree with Robbo completely. Total and utter control of the game, and I think every single player for their team played well today, and it's not often you see that.
And what a way for the captain to finish his time at Tannadice. Andy Webster's with Jonathan.
Andy, how good does it feel to have a hold of that trophy?
Oh, it's an amazing feeling. Great occasion for us. Came here today, obviously coming in as the favourites, and I thought we showed that on the day.
When you arrived at Tannadice on loan from Rangers, did you possibly dream it could end like this?
No, of course you don't. But I've seen the other side of it. This is the time for me to enjoy this now. The boys have worked extremely hard this season, and it's a fitting tribute to everybody who are lifting this cup.
What does it mean to the club?
Oh, it's a massive achievement. I think it's something like 14, 16 years ago that the club won the last time. So, for us to do that, it's a great achievement. Great season, finishing third, and a great season winning this.
You go back to Rangers after this, of course, Andy, but it must be with mixed emotions after just these incredible scenes.
Oh, of course. I mean, you look at the fans, and that's what it's all about. As I say, we've worked extremely hard. The fans have backed us. Everybody's been pulling in the same direction. It's a great achievement.
And how tough a game did Ross County make it for you?
Yeah, of course. You don't get to a major cup final and get any easy games. They played well, set out their stall quite well, and frustrated us a bit. But I think that we showed our class in the second half. Conway scoring 2 great goals.
Big night planned.
A quiet one. I'll be in my bed in about half an hour.
Well done, Andy. Cheers.
Thank you.
Yes, believe that if you like. And that's a player, remember, who was cruelly left out of the Hearts Cup winning team in 2006 after playing in every match up until then because of the contractual situation. You can only imagine how sick he must have been that day, Kevin. So this makes it up for Andy Webster as well, doesn't it?
Oh, it certainly does. There's no doubt about it. It's, as you said, tears of sadness one time. You get a chance, and it's turned into tears of joy, and it's just, it's unbelievable, and I'm sure he will enjoy his time of lifting that cup because that's a special moment. He's first up there and a trophy in his hands.
And you just, well, we say it every time that perhaps one of the non-Old Firm clubs reaches Hampden. 27,000 United fans, 20,000 Ross County fans. Let's hope that some of them who are here today, just because it's an occasion, Pat, decide to make it a habit to go along and see their teams.
Yeah, and it is good for them. There's a lots of things you have to remember. Mention Craig Levein there. Eddie Thompson's the name that jumps out of my mind just now. You would love that man to have been here to see this today. So, and they deserve it because they've played well. And I think if you look over the season, this is a team that's won the Scottish Cup. This is a team that's third in the league. This is the third force currently in Scottish football.
No doubt about it. You mentioned the late Eddie Thompson, his son Stephen, of course, the current chairman, and he's with Jonathan.
Stephen, this moment must mean so much to you.
It means everything. It means everything to the club. It means a lot to the family as well. My family put so much in the last few years. My dad would love all this, all he ever wanted. But fantastic for the fans. 27,500 fans here. They're all going mad. Great for the players. Everyone associated with the club.
A legendary moment. We won't be able to talk about 1994 anymore. It'll be about 2010 as well. It must mean so much to the club, Stephen.
Well, this is our centenary year. So to win the cup in the centenary season is absolutely fantastic, absolutely over the moon, and hopefully we can make another one next year perhaps.
How impressed have you been by Peter Houston and the players?
Yeah, Peter's done a great job in the last number of months, and the coaching staff and the players. After Craig left, it was quite difficult, but everyone's knuckled down and got on with it, and we're just absolutely delighted. It's just sinking in now.
What will the celebrations now be like, Stephen?
Well, it's back to the club tonight and then civic reception tomorrow, and we've got a dinner tomorrow night to celebrate. So by then I won't be able to relax and might have sunk in by then.
An emotional night?
Yeah, I think once it sinks in it'll be emotional. It's not quite sunk in yet.
Stephen, many congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Thanks.
Dundee United, the Active Nations Scottish Cup winners, and here are the goals which won it for them. The first coming just 6 minutes into the second half. David Goodwillie. Mistake by the goalkeeper. That's why goalkeeper shouldn't head the ball, I suppose, Kevin, but didn't he take it well?
Oh, it's a fantastic. I know he said what he wanted to do with it, put it in the net. It's a great answer because that's what he's done. He's put it in with nonchalance, but that man there, Craig Conway, was absolutely awesome in the second half and took his goals absolutely fantastically. And that's a good thing about it. They've got players that can score goals in all positions, and we've seen it today again.
Smile on your face as well, Robbo. You love to see a striker doing his job, don't
It's
you?
fantastic, and another twist to the plot. Craig Conway was signed for United by Craig Brewster, who's now at Ross County. So you get all these wee twists and plots, but it's funny we talk about the fans and the heart. All the cup finals they lost in have gone completely now, because it's all about today, it's all about the moment, and it's just fantastic to see a team who richly deserved to win the cup go away with the spoils.
Absolutely. Pat, you've already said United, the third force in Scottish football at the moment. A word for Ross County finally?
Yeah, they can be proud of what they've done. They had the cup final against Celtic, and they'll probably try and forget this one in the end. This is Dundee United's day. I hope they go and represent Scotland very well in Europe, and I think they're capable of doing that. And for that man, I think they might get a new contract.
And well done to Craig Brown and Motherwell as well. They're into Europe too. Incidentally, Chelsea have done the double. They've won the FA Cup thanks to a Didier Drogba goal 14 minutes into the second half. But today at Hampden, it's all about Dundee United, and one of the most colourful Scottish Cup finals we've seen in a long time. In the end, it's Dundee United in their centenary season who lift the trophy for the second time. Today at Hampden, it's a tangerine dream from us all. Bye-bye.